Podcast number 3 with oh, you know what? I meant to make a tinfoil hat for this one. Since you're our neighborhood Alex Jones. If you guys follow me on Twitter, I've been talking about this man for a minute. Uh, this fellow here to my right. He also works with me at the wood shop with some local lumberjacks, and I wanted to have you on because you're wealth of knowledge on the conspiracy world in unison with current events. Did you really just spray that?
I did.
Oh my god. That stuff smells so terrible. Anyway, you follow some really float off things, and but with that said, you've also been right and have called a bunch of stuff before it happened, based off your lunatic stuff. And I think Mr. Johnson's he's in for quite a treat. So.
Well, I hope it's not impressed. So I want to impress.
You and I have known each other what? Like since
I don't
fifth grade? Yeah,
Fifth
no, long
grade,
ass
something like
time.
that.
And I guess my mom taught you too. We went to Austin together back then, like a long ass time ago. In like fourth grade, we went to Austin at the Capitol. I sat with this bitch ass on the bus.
Oh Lord.
You don't remember that?
No.
God, you have CTE. All right, cool. So, what do you do for a living? You're in personal training, obviously.
Personal training, bodybuilding, just hobbies of mine, research and stuff. Just trying to find the truth,
Truth about what?
Truth about this world we live in, man. This damn place is crazy. There's something wrong with it, and I'm just trying to figure out what's wrong with it.
I'm so excited for this. What comes next? And then now obviously you work with me at the wood shop and whatnot. He's getting ready. Did you already sign up for CrossFit?
I didn't. I was supposed to go this morning. I didn't make it. So no. And I'm not gonna lie. I don't care. I don't care how much money I make. $140 a month is crazy.
Dude, I tried to tell you, dude. That's cheap. Someone would like to do something.
That's cheap. Huh?
I mean,
you know how much ammo or anything else I can? No. I can find a lot of things to do with that type of money a month.
So anyway, I wanted y'all two to get together because, again, I tried to tell you before you got here, don't be afraid to speak your mind.
Right. Okay.
All right. So to give you a little insight, you are what I like to call a connoisseur of black queens.
We got to start off with the black girl stuff.
Okay. Right. Now, the reason why I bring that up is I want to put you on blast. I've been waiting for a very long time for this. I'm so excited. Now, if you will recall, I don't remember what project we were working. I think it was the beginning of the circles. All right. And we're building these big old circles that kind of like lanterns that go up in a building in Dallas.
Yeah.
And you had to walk away because you got a phone call. Do you remember this day? And you're outside.
I'm pretty sure I do. Let's see what you got to say, though.
I'm not going to go with the other one, the one that you're afraid of saying. I'm not doing that one.
No, please don't.
I'm not doing that one.
Okay.
I would never do that to you.
All right.
I'll tell you that later. You'll die.
I'm
not doing that live. I'll do it like your brother. I'm not going to do live. But the other one.
It's not a disclosure agreement for that.
Right. So you were outside, and you were out there for a minute, and I was like, damn, what's he doing? So I went out there to check on you, and you were just starting getting off the phone, and you were like, y'all were like a heated conversation. And I was like, what's up? And you were like, man, dude, my girl, she won't let me touch her hair. And I was like, oh no, Alan, you didn't know you can't touch a black woman's hair? And you were like, what? That's not a thing. Do you remember that?
Vaguely, dude.
Yeah, vaguely me. It wasn't that long ago. Right? And then I was like, did you ever notice how she wears, a cat at night or whatever, or slip pillow? And you were just like, man. I don't know how you grew up in Cedar Hill and did not know that. And then you followed it up with, well, so what do you think about, like, when she says, I'll go get my hair done, do you think it's normal for her to be gone for like 6 hours?
Yeah, dude. I had to learn that. Man.
You thought she was cheating on you.
Black hair is not just an hour or two. Man, dude, she's going tomorrow night to get her hair done. She's spending the night out there because it's just going to be easier to do that. And she's going to her mom's, which is about 30 minutes away from here. She's going after work, so she's going to literally stay the night. It's going to take like 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours to do her hair.
This is regular. This is normal.
How deep in the relationship were you before you found all this out? It was a while.
I would say you find out little bits at a time, and you learn about the hair pretty quick. That's week 1 or 2. I mean, and then the feet, the pedicures and stuff like that. That's like one of the things you learn week 3, 4. I mean, it gets after that, it's just getting used to the culture. I guess it's a little different. It's not much different. We're all the same,
So, has it been like? Has it been? How's it been during all these protests and riots and whatnot? Because there's no way she can have the same.
From someone who's coming from the perspective of being awake, I see straight through all the crap and stuff, and I just try to, whenever she hears something from somebody or does something, I just try to tell her and explain to her what's going on and stuff, and I don't know everything, but I can see pretty clearly and discern info pretty well, I feel like. So and I've not to mention that I've watched probably 250 plus hours of documentaries, seminars, PowerPoint presentations. You name it, from some of the leading authorities.
So
this kind of stuff.
Do you talk about stuff with her?
I share some, but that kind of stuff, it gets so deep that like you can't just unload on, bombard them. They'll be like, I can't take this. Like, you're crazy.
Right.
And so you have to literally drip drop it to them and just feed them little bits at a time, because not everyone is privy to this information and stuff. So it's quite eye-opening, quite shocking to a lot of people when you tell them that there's a pedophilia, child trafficking network that's bigger than the drug trade. I mean, that's so out there that most people are just not going to understand it. They think drugs are like the almighty be-all, end-all. And that's what's run, all the millions and billions in the black market, but it's really child trafficking and human trafficking. And they pay top dollar for that stuff. And
So you talked about all that with her?
I've told her about a lot of stuff, man.
So is she on your side now, or is she still like?
Well, I think for the most part, she's like most people. She wants to see the hard evidence and stuff. But I'm just like, do you really want to see those videos of that kind of stuff happening? I mean, they have testimony and stuff of like New York police officers and stuff that have seen some of these videos that were on the Epstein laptop, or not Epstein, but what's the other guy? What's the guy that was had the Podesta? Yeah, the Podesta laptop that it made like veteran, seasoned officers in the New York Police Department, detectives and stuff, like throw up and cry. I mean, how hardcore is some of that stuff that has to happen? I mean, a lot of people are going to be super floored when this stuff comes out, but do you really want to see that evidence?
The Patriots?
The Patriots?
All the stuff you're always supposed to
Oh,
about
God.
the Patriots. I have no idea who those people are. I guess Trump's like King Patriot, I guess.
He's the King Patriot?
Yeah. So,
I don't know. You remember the QAnon stuff? They think that he's Q+.
What the hell's a Q+?
He's another part of the Q movement that's
what is a
someone
Q?
that drops.
I don't understand
Is probably more or less a team of individuals that are in the military, that are high up in the military, white hats, and they're running a hardcore operation for years now, and it's just not coming to fruition, where we're starting to see what they've been doing for the past probably 4 to 6 years.
Are you familiar with any of this?
That's why I'm just listening.
Alright, so like, there's a local gun store I go to, right? They have a Q thing, like on their front window.
Oh, it's real, man.
It's huge. Like, I see it everywhere. Ever since you started talking about it, I see Q everywhere. Like, everybody
I
has
saw
bumper
someone at the
stickers and
grocery
stuff.
store the other day with the Q shirt on, and I was like, no way.
I think I need help with that.
You just
A
ate
little
a
ass
gnat.
fly just flew in my mouth, I swear to God.
Hey, patio top, baby.
That's a really bad idea. Yeah, Doss, he's a extreme. Okay, so anyway, sorry. So it's not the corona, it's a gnat. So Q is it's kind of like the opposition to the deep state.
It's a military operation. It's a high-level military. It's the military operation that's happening right now. This is a worldwide operation.
Based on what information?
Based off of their surveillance and stuff. I mean, Ghislaine Maxwell just got arrested. Epstein got arrested for that and got suicided on a 24/7 suicide watch. Give me a break. Like, there's some serious shit going on.
You're a Neanderthal. You ate bugs.
David eats bugs
It's
for
protein.
a hobby.
It's protein. Fast acting protein.
So yeah, man. A lot of people think that General Flynn was the one that started it, and that's why he's in the hot seat that he's in. And since he's been exonerated, they think that what's getting ready to hit the fan, and with this Ghislaine Maxwell arrest, some stuff's going to get pretty interesting pretty quick. And by the end of the summer, we should see a lot more happening.
So does all of that tie into what's going on currently? At all?
Everything is tied together. Everything is tied together. If you go far enough and deep enough, everything has ties to what the main goals are, which is ultimate human slavery.
What?
What do you mean? What? You're a slave. You work a 9 to 5. We don't. I mean, none of us have anything like that. Like, we should all have houses and land and thousands and millions in the bank and shit. And,
He's the leader, Q. Yeah, that's him right there.
I mean, they've siphoned money out of
Who's they?
the economy. The hidden hand, the Illuminati, the cabal, the deep state. Well, they have a lot of names. The Khazarian mafia. There's a lot to be talked about. We're not even gonna get to the tip of the iceberg.
Okay, so you told me
The Vatican's in a lot of trouble.
This is who you wanted on the podcast.
I mean,
now we really about to be on the radar, on somebody's radar.
right. Well,
Congratulations.
Hey,
My name
I'm
is.
no holds barred, man. I'm no holds barred. I'm just the messenger. I've told David that do not shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you what I've heard. I believe to a certain extent about it, but I'm a normal person, and I want to see the evidence, and I want to see it for myself.
My name is Flynn Talbot.
so the last time I brought this, we're going to soften it up a little bit, and we're going to dive back into it. You denied this last time I called you out on it, but we're going to see how you play it this time.
Oh God, here we go.
There was video of it. I just lost the dang thing. It was on Twitter at one point.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Aliens.
Yeah. Okay. So this man, we were at the shop, and I was talking about how my stomach started hurting, and he goes, "Oh, I know what that is." I was like, "The hell? How do you know?"
Oh, this one. I don't remember this one.
You
You're talking about the
said-
alien in the stomach thing?
Yeah, you said that.
I was probably joking with you.
No, bro, you were dead serious. You said, "Oh, I know what that is," and you were straight face as hell. I said, "What's up?" And you go, "Hey, when you get a stomach ache like that out of the blue, it's because you just came in contact with aliens." I was like, "Huh?" And you're like, "Yeah, because the aliens have something about they mess with your psyche to where you can't realize that you're looking at them, and it makes your stomach hurt or something like that." And I had tears. Dude, now
I think I know what you're talking about.
Go ahead.
And I think some of it was lost in translation over time. But I was told, well, I was informed through some videos and stuff that I watched that when people, when you get in contact with, like, and I mean in contact like in the same room with an extraterrestrial that's not from this planet, and they look way different than us. They may look like the little short green men or what have you. Who knows? I mean, God, the alien grays or whatever they call them and stuff. Some people have like reactions to be like nervous reactions to the point where they can throw up. They can get dizzy and faint. And so whenever they bring someone to one of these black op projects and stuff, these unacknowledged projects, they have to slowly season them to being in the same room with these things because you have a reaction
You can make him run.
to something that like you've never seen before that you only thought was in movies, but it's right in front of you. If that makes any sense. It's shocking to the nth degree, like nothing you've ever experienced on this planet yet.
Like on some Bob Lazar type shit or what?
Bob Lazar's, he's dropped a lot of knowledge bombs. He's one of the pioneers in this stuff. He's been talking about it since the 80s and 90s.
Hey, get out the city and go get you some guns. Cause if what he talking about is for real, y'all probably want to listen to me on my group economics and getting the hell out the city. But we go let him keep going, cause I'm sitting here listening. All it's doing is confirming my crazy.
Okay, so that was that, and that made my stomach hurt. I was crying. I was dying.
Well, that's the only thing I could think of when you're talking about the stomach hurting.
That's exactly what
aliens
you.
and stuff.
Okay, right.
I think that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, and then we went further on, and I was like, what? So somehow we got onto now this is like some Wolfenstein type stuff. Please explain.
Wait, it gets deeper?
Oh, we're just getting started.
Oh, there's a lot to talk about.
All right, so before we get back to current events, we're gonna go to the past. And please explain. I'll just say it. Please explain the moon. Go.
That's a big one. I've heard a lot. I don't want to get into like the ancient things of what the moon is and stuff. They say it's a no, this is far out. I don't know about this. They say it's basically a manned ship and that it is hollow, and that whenever the astronauts were landing on the moon, that it was ringing like a bell, meaning that it was hollowed out to an extent, the entire thing kind of, and that there are bases on the moon,
From who?
primarily on the dark side of the moon.
Right. Which is who? Who runs the bases?
Well, okay, so if you want to talk about alien presence on the moon, I think the draconian reptilian race, they say, has had colonies on the moon for a long time.
And used them with who?
With the Nazis.
There it is.
The German Nazis.
Right.
The German Nazis were a little bit ahead of the U.S. and the Russians in the mission to try to get to the moon. They had the Brill Society, and they had these people working for them that were not. I think the girls were from here, but they had.
The who? The girls?
They had a team of women.
Okay. So
If
they're
I'm not
so
mistaken.
like early stages as SJWs.
No. Not quite. Like these girls and stuff were getting downloads and had basically ESP information from extraterrestrials. I think from the Pleiades.
The Pleiades?
And stuff. The Pleiades star system.
Like, is that kind of like Claudius?
Not
No.
quite.
No.
But they were getting information and stuff, and apparently they had really long hair and stuff. And there's a lot of esoteric science that we don't understand and stuff. Just to start with this stuff. But they were getting, their hair acted like a signal and acted like a conduit to frequencies and different
Humans?
things. These women that worked for the Hitler in this Brill Society, if I'm not mistaken.
Dude, aren't there like a bunch of movies about this? Like, isn't that just like a B movie?
No, it's well known and well documented that Hitler traveled across the world on the top of his reign, trying to find old technology and old esoteric sciences and philosophy and stuff.
This is where it gets confusing because he's telling me all this, right? And so he's like, just look it up. So I'm Googling it, right? And like the History Channel's done documentaries on this stuff, and like they had spaceships, like the Nazis.
Right.
There's
a bell. There's a famous bell shape.
Yeah. So
It
that's
looks like
that's
a
real.
giant bell.
That's documented. So we know that's real, right? So
And
that
it has a Nazi swastika on the side of it.
Yeah, no. So that part's real, right?
The spaceship?
Yeah. Well,
Very early
according
stages
to-
of their anti-gravity vehicles. Yeah.
according to the documentary,
Oh, Lord.
right? That was.
If you think about
it
it,
never worked, but that was like we actually have them. We have them.
I think that they worked. They didn't work
I
as
know,
well as what they ended up.
I know you say
getting.
that. I'm saying what the History Channel says. They never worked, but the U.S. government confiscated.
What's interesting, I will say this, and I just pieced this together recently, is that bell shaped.
Mm-hmm.
If you look into the old ancient Indian stuff and texts and stuff, gosh, I don't remember the names. I'm guilty for not remembering names and details about stuff. They resemble the ancient Vimanas, which are the ancient flying crafts the gods came in on. And so they're like basically anti-gravity vehicles. and they were bell shaped, and they have graphic art and stuff from that's thousands and thousands of years old, and statues and stuff that show this stuff. So that makes sense when you realize and know that Hitler went to Tibet and Hitler went to all these places looking for this stuff. And you know how not only is it well documented and true, and they find this stuff in people's journals, and it's just a known thing that he did this stuff. It was an Indiana Jones movie.
So that makes it real.
It doesn't make it real. They're just throwing truth in your face, like a lot of movies do.
I think that happens a lot. I think a lot of people just take it as like movies being written. I think it's a lot of shit that
it comes from somewhere.
A lot of excuse my language. A lot of things that's in movies that we take as entertainment that is actually real.
Well,
they're selling it to you and making money off of stuff that's real that you don't know about.
Rogan had a dude on this real quick recently about Manson murders and all that, and he talks about it's known now that the CIA has funded in the past Hollywood. So,
Manson was a CIA asset.
I know, but like that. So he had a guy on the road. He's an investigative journalist, and he wrote a 20-year piece on all this. So he had him on the interview. So like that as an example of what you're saying. Yeah, there is parts of Hollywood that is funded by the CIA. I'm not saying that the movies and stuff are reflecting.
A lot of it is. All these shoot 'em up, bang bang cop movies and FBI and CIA, like Sicario and these movies like that. The CIA basically wrote all those movies.
I can agree. You know what?
That's fact. You need to look that up, dude. That's fact.
my crazy says he's correct.
Dude, Tom Clancy, you think he wrote those books by himself? Hell no. He's not an ex-special ops, if I'm not mistaken.
So he
has ties and knows people that are telling him stories that he's making books out of.
So there's a recently.
He's the one that did the Mission Impossible, right?
Right. So a recently retired.
Did he? Tom Clancy?
He did one. He's got video games, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's video games like Rainbow Six.
Does he not have any movies too?
No.
He's got books, right?
Yeah, he's got
books and video
books.
games.
Okay, books and video games.
Air Force One with Harrison Ford and all that. Yeah,
was that Tom Clancy?
Okay, well I didn't know that, but his name is thrown around quite a bit when you're talking about
Okay,
CIA.
so I have a question. So there is a recent, I say recent, it's within the last few years, a guy retired from the SEALs, Navy SEALs. Okay, and now he writes novels, and one of them's getting made into a Amazon show, and Chris Pratt is playing it. I can't remember the guy's name, but he talked about on his podcast I watched. He went in depth about how challenging it was to get special permission from the military to use stuff that he's done in his past as parts of the story. And so, if that's the case, like why would they just be willy-nilly giving that stuff out to all these other people? But like people like him, there's several other examples where they have to get special permission to do it. Those two don't go together, in my opinion.
I don't know if I'm understanding the question.
So like, there's guys that talk about how they have wrote movies, like the guys that did Lone Survivor and stuff. Like they have to get special permission.
Oh yeah, that stuff gets read through and proofread by the people at the top.
Right, they talk about that. So how at the same time, that's true. We know that, right? They talk about it.
Has to.
Right. So then on the flip side, how can they, like Tom Clancy guy, write all this truth and then pass it off as
Same thing. That whoever he's in cahoots with is people at the top, and they're okaying this stuff. You know, they're not just letting him come out with something that's going to tell about what really happened in Benghazi, and you know, screw a lot of people over, and a lot of people are facing the electric chair for that or whatever. You know, the most of it's gonna be real. A lot of it's stuff that's just metaphorical. Names changed, certain scenarios changed around a little bit, and then you're getting basically a true story that happened somewhere with a slight twist. You know, so I feel like that's kind of like the whole Jason Bourne, perfect example. Jason Bourne, all the Jason Bournes. I mean, all the Mission Impossibles, all the James Bonds, MI6.
So you're saying all those have truth to them?
Oh yeah, some of the stuff that happens in those movies and how some of the technology you see in those movies, some of the missions themselves come from somewhere. It came from some stuff that has really happened.
Does Q say this?
No, Q don't talk about stuff like that. That's just stuff I just understand how Hollywood works, and I understand the CIA influence. And I understand the CIA.
Okay. So bring the Nazis. Don't the Nazis kind of like come back around and come into current events with you? or no?
Oh, of course they do. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, fuck. I don't mean to cuss.
You got to cuss. I don't know why you are.
I want to keep PG-13. I don't always do so, but I'll blow your minds right now. And this is a conspiracy I don't think I've ever told you about. They said George Bush Sr. was the leader of the Fourth Reich.
The what?
The Fourth Reich.
The what?
What's that?
Hitler was the Third Reich. Whenever Hitler died and all that ended, there was basically, they went underground, and George Bush Sr. became the leader of the Fourth Reich.
What's the evidence of that?
I don't know if I definitely am not the one that talks about hard evidence and stuff. I'm not in that scene, but I'm just telling you what I've heard and how stuff pieces together and stuff, and how what some of the stuff that QAnon has said tied with some of the other things that have been said about just how America was built, how they hired all the scientists after. All the Nazi scientists and stuff, and brought them in and gave them fake names and gave them fake identities and stuff, and it's just super shady. And when you start to dig into this stuff and you start to really peel back the layers, you see how this stuff is so deep, and how so entangled it is, and how they've got into power that they are to the levels that they are. They have a hand in everything, and it's not something that just happened overnight. It's something that's happened for hundreds of years and even thousands of years. That's where you get the bloodlines.
I feel like you get a lot of this confused with like the Assassin's Creed games, like the Templars.
I think maybe some of those Assassin's Creed games are telling some truth.
I like him. I like him a lot.
I mean, I knew you were.
You know what? That's funny. That's a whole other topic that you would have a lot more experience with. But they have a lot of symbolism and a lot of things in a lot of these video games that you guys play. And I've seen some documentary-style videos on YouTube that explain and break some of these things down. A lot of pyramid, a lot of one-eye symbolism, a lot of just symbolism.
What does a pyramid represent?
The pyramid in the eye is the all-seeing eye. It's the Illuminati. It's like they're one of their main logos. It's like it's on our money. It's on everything almost that they do. There's this pyramid or an eye somewhere. It's one of them. The other one is that one. They do this. This is 666.
I thought that was white power.
No. When I do this, it means A-okay, buddy. Oh, that's really good food.
But
when they do it, when they do this, that's not good. When they put their eye in that circle, it's not good.
There's a viral
There's
video of a
several
cop.
magazine covers.
There's a viral video that came out recently of a cop doing that to there's like looked like a Trump supporter guy. Like,
oh, there's a lot of dirty cops. Don't even get started.
He like comes up and does like that,
They're
and then the
paid.
guy like pats him on the back and he like walks back away. It's real weird. It just came out.
There's a
like
lot of dirty cops, and that's part of.
But he did that right above his eye.
What we're talking about here,
Okay, so
they
now
have a hand in everything.
Right. So what you told me today when you got here, and I didn't want to expand on it then. Tell us about, and tread lightly, but explain the theory of George Floyd Go.
Oh Lord, I've heard a lot of stuff. I guess there's the basic theory that what we saw was actually real and that happened. They have other theories. The latest one I heard, which is one of the most far out ones, was that it was literally all CGI. I was told by someone that is in with a higher echelon of population, if you will, from Highland Park, and he was told by someone else that a lot of that, most of that was CGI, and I was like, that's the first I've heard of that, But it doesn't surprise me.
Who's the cop supposed to be?
Oh yeah, that was one of the other ones. They were saying it was the guy from Cash Cab, that he was a Christ actor, yeah, and that he showed up to play his part, if you will, and that a lot of that stuff.
What is? I didn't know we would go job. We is down a rabbit hole for real. What's that?
I mean, take over. You got questions? Let's go.
I'm sitting here.
I've never heard all this. I'm just
Yikes!
I mean,
you sit on all this information?
Huh?
You just be all this information just in your head?
Man, a lot of this stuff just comes to me when I watch this stuff. I say to myself, because of understanding, I have an understanding of how this works and the level of technology they have. I know how they're putting it together, and I know that what we're watching when we watch mainstream television is a movie in real life. You're literally watching a movie in real life. It's just coming on live television. And you got to understand what we're dealing with here. We're talking about the people that own Hollywood. If they want to show you a movie, they can show you a movie.
Agreed.
That's facts. We're talking about the highest levels of mafia in the entire world.
Mafia?
They're basically a mafia, cabal, whatever you want to call them. Secret societies are part of it. They're not all of it. There are people at the top of a lot of secret societies. There's so many secret societies out there. And one of the biggest ones is the Freemasons. They get talked about probably the most. Not all Freemasons are bad. Most of them are good people. Christians, whatever you want to say, just good people. It's the people at the top, they say, that are the problem. And that's just one. They got the Skull and Bones. They got the Order of the Golden Dawn. They got I mean, gosh, I'm going blank a little bit, but they have a lot of stuff, man. They have a lot of old secret societies out there that are running parts of the different parts of the world. And they're all in cahoots together. They go to the Bohemian Grove. They go to, what else? The Bilderberg Group.
What?
Davos.
What? Good catch.
Switzerland. Oh, yeah.
Yes,
My mom is breeding
one of
trees.
these. Sorry, you can't see David's mom stepping and being the ultimate house mom.
she's awesome.
She is awesome.
I'm not even.
So on just a completely other topic. All right, so now you've had white people cooking twice. Now, you keep making fun of the seasoning thing?
Well, obviously your father's not white. He's not Neanderthal. He's something else other than white. There's some mixture of color in there somewhere. Let me tell you, his tacos, fire. And tacos last week was the bomb.
Hey, watch the table. We're making a camera shake.
Mr. Maddox, am I saying y'all last name right? Shit is delicious. Cooked some salmon today. Now I'm mad that I kind of ate something that was drinking a whole bunch of fluids before I came. That salmon was delicious. I wish I would have had enough room for my vegetables.
I ate some too.
So, David may be white. His father is not white.
Yes. It's true. I keep telling people, they're always like, talking shit on Twitter, and I'm like, look, anytime you come down to Texas, come on over, and I'll show you that. If I'm cooking,
Thank you.
I'm more like before my Traeger grill broke, because I can't.
You broke that Traeger grill?
I didn't break it. The damn little corkscrew twirly thing broke.
Maybe that's why you guys got them so cheap.
Right.
So
So you guys charcoal and all that, like wood and all that. I always jack it up. So, but when I was using the Traeger, I was getting pretty good at it. But I'm more simplistic. So I just put like sea salt, a little bit of pepper, and butter on my steaks. That's how I like it. I don't like all that seasoning stuff. Is nonsense. As long as you cook it right, you don't need it. And you have to have a good piece of meat. I promise you.
The key to making a good steak is getting a really nice thick ribeye, putting some butter in there. I like to put a little coconut oil in there. And then I just literally get like the Kroger brand. I shop at Kroger a lot. I like Kroger. They don't make people wear masks there. But get this basic, they have a Kroger brand steak seasoning, man, and as long as my stuff's just a little pink in the middle and juicy, we're good, man. And that stuff is, oh my God, it melts in your mouth.
I'm not listening to David. I'm pretty sure his father thinks something totally different. Eat his father's cooking. I don't know.
Right.
I haven't ate David's cooking yet. You scared me already.
That's what I'm explaining to you. No, I was agreeing with you.
Oh, okay. You scared me a little bit. His dad, though? A-okay with me, man.
Oh, yeah.
So did you not?
David's got a little black in him. Come on, man. He's got a little soul in him.
Well, we've already established that David's he's blacker than me.
David's 2% black.
No, it's 1.8% Neanderthal.
No, you're much more Neanderthal than 1.8. You're 28%
I just say with the blood results came back. It was like 1.5%.
Oh
Asian.
Lord! Don't tell me you did the 23andMe.
No, So what do you think about that? He wanted to do his ancestry.com. So he didn't gave his DNA, and they tell him It was right there on the. I said you did it. He said yeah. It says on the paper. When you submit this, your DNA is no longer yours. We have
We're
it.
gonna keep it.
We're keeping. We can do whatever. We have every right to it. You have no more rights. Why would somebody even do that?
I didn't click that box though. It's
But-
not-
I don't. They
But
do that
not-
to everybody. You got to be a fool to think they don't just do that without
I
your permission.
understand.
They don't
Look,
care about you.
I was balls deep into watching Vikings, and I wanted to see if I was Bjorn. If I was like a descendant of Bjorn, my whole life would change. Like I'd have animal furs, I'd wield an axe everywhere I go. It'd been awesome, but it didn't work out for me. I just found out I was really dumb, and I carried clubs.
And beat women.
28% Neanderthal.
Yeah, yeah, it was kind of depressing.
No, but seriously, how sketchy are those things? Those genetic, like, send us your DNA so we can just kind of have your DNA.
So we can tell you what you are.
I got caught up in it. I wanted to be a Viking, and I put all that to
I mean,
the side. It is what it is.
Pretty curious. I mean, I would be curious to see what I have. I was told I'm Irish and Scottish,
I see that. I can see
and
that.
I got a little Native American in me, and that's probably where I get my tan from.
You're what?
But
You're
I'm not
what?
hairy like a Native American. I'm hairy like a wildebeest, and Native Americans don't have a lot of hair. I don't wish they had that trait.
Well, if you go to Minnesota, this would change me. You know what I'm saying? It's been over 20 years in Minnesota. On the reservation, if you go on the reservation, you would think you see Indians, because we think of Indians one way. I go there and they're as white as y'all with blue eyes and with blonde hair
Native Americans with blonde hair and blue eyes.
on the reservation.
You know what that's
here we
about?
That's about people buying their way on the scroll.
Oh, well, that may be true.
Buying their way on the scroll. Back when those things were happening, and it's like, okay, you guys get your land, you get your money, White folks is buying their way on the scroll, and I'm like, wait a minute. 'Cause like I said, I'm up there like this. I'm expecting to see Native Americans, and all the big houses behind the casino, Mystic Lake, white people.
So
Is that kind of like what Elizabeth Warren did when she was Pocahontas?
Who knows?
Claimed that she was a Native American and got grants and all kinds of shit.
I'm pretty sure he
So
was.
what was your theory? I feel like your theory might be the winner
What?
with the white Indians. What did you think they were?
I
serious
think,
you just got? He went from serious.
dude,
Not dry
I
knowledge.
think there's some truth there, man. I don't think, well, we should talk about the fact that Columbus wasn't the first white person, if you will, to be over here.
Well,
The
he-
Vikings were over here 1,000 years before him, probably.
You're gonna get my mom coming out here to holler. I tried to explain that to her
What?
about the Vikings.
I'm just saying
found
what
on the
they
West Coast.
say.
That's actually backed up by science. The science.
Well, we have a Stonehenge. America has a Stonehenge. You didn't know that? They say that was built by those Vikings
There was
or by those ancient people.
there
that
was
came
somebody
over.
that, it wasn't too long ago they discovered it. It was hieroglyphics. Found was it the West Coast or the East Coast?
They find stuff like that everywhere.
No, I know, but the Vikings.
It has to be East Coast.
Maybe it was East Coast. I don't remember. But anyway, that supposedly they were here like quite a while ago. But
I wouldn't doubt it.
Well, the tripped out thing is okay. You know, the Bible talks about there were giants back in those days and this and that. Well, there might be a lot more truth in that than they say, because they have Native American tales of them fighting and trying to hunt down these tall white giants that had red beards and red hair. They didn't all have red beards and red hair. Some of them had blonde hair and black hair, but a lot of them had red beards and red hair, and they were cannibals. And they weren't from this planet. They came here after the planet was destroyed. With
Like
basically a
Prometheus?
civil war. Huh?
like Prometheus.
And Prometheus, in what sense?
I don't know. It just sounds like you're describing Prometheus. To me.
I can't. I remember Prometheus. I just don't remember the details of the movie. Something about a seed race,
No, I'm just saying like those-
guardian race,
it's
and
not-
like.
it's neither here nor there.
He sounded like he's describing White Walkers to me
Right.
from Game of Thrones.
Then maybe that's all true. That's probably the people on the inside here.
So, in other words, those giants were what they refer to in the Bible as Nephilim.
What?
Basically. That's basically when they're talking about the giants back then, they're talking about the Nephilim, which is the offspring of gods and the humans or whatever. I don't know. I don't know everything about the Bible, so I might be
Maybe you need
misinterpreting some of
Jesus.
it. Need Jesus. Don't we all?
Or well, what's his name?
Jesus.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yeshua.
Yeshua. Yep.
How do you know that? But you don't know you can't touch black women's hair. What the
Man,
that's
you know,
confusing right there. How the hell?
If anybody's confused, we are in Cedar Hill. Cedar Hill is a black area, black suburb. This is why I say David is
It wasn't
black.
always like that though. We literally lived in the transition.
Yeah, it's true. But
Also,
I remember when Cedar Hill was probably
like,
60 to 7% white,
so black people gentrified Cedar Hill.
and now it's like probably 80 or 70% black.
I don't know.
I mean, it's more black people here than there ever was before. And it's not a bad thing. It is what it is.
I love Cedar Hill and DeSoto. I just can't live on this part of town. I like living south.
This is a better part of town.
That's fine.
Because your part of town's far away.
That's fine.
You know what, though?
I'm gonna take Johnson County.
Back to the black girl hair thing. You know, well, the first thing that comes to mind when I think of a black girl and her hair is that scene on Friday when she spends the whole night like this, trying to keep her hair.
That's
her
normal.
perm or whatever she had.
That's normal.
I had to do that.
And then she slips. She gets right back up, man. She ain't playing.
I got cornrows one time, and I had to do that. Those are the worst. I did get cornrows. Don't. Look, I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm not gonna tell you why. No context. They were awesome.
What'd you do?
I got cornrows. Remember?
Oh, I wish I had enough hair to cornrow. I could do a Kimbo slice cornrow.
I was doing mixed martial arts, so I was growing my hair out, so I did that to prevent it from getting yanked on. Look,
Gotcha.
look.
I
Don't
learn something
judge.
new about them every time.
Hey, look, don't judge, all right? I culture appropriate all the time. It's kind of my thing.
I need to make a disclaimer though. I want to talk to the audience for a second here, guys. Audience, listen to me.
There's
Don't
people
take my
in the
word.
comments that are agreeing with you.
Don't take my word for this stuff. Do your research. Look at the videos. Research this stuff. Nazis on the moon. Research this stuff, man. Don't just take my word for it. Find out for yourself, man.
Is Eddie Bravo like your hero?
Eddie Bravo's the shit, but he's not my hero.
Who's your Q hero?
My Q hero.
Or whatever. Just,
Oh Lord.
your tinfoil hat hero, Alex Jones. No.
No, Alex Jones is hilarious to me. I turn on Alex Jones to hear him talk shit about the cabal. It is so hilarious. I've rolled around on the floor with some of the stuff that he said when he goes on his rants and his fits when he's talking about Hillary Clinton riding on a pale white horse with pus filled this that. It was that's so hard.
Have you read that book?
Behold the Pale White Horse?
Yeah.
No, I have not, but I've heard about it.
I think you should read it.
You should see my book collection too. I should show you we should live stream my book collection one day.
I'm with it.
Dude, I have some books, and some of them are old, and what considered collector's items. One of my favorite books is called Bloodlines of the Illuminati. Fritz Springmeier. Look that one up, man.
David
Talks
Icke.
about the 13 bloodlines and the history of them and where they come from. And
Oh, you
what
believe-
their names are today.
Speaking of blood, you believe in like all the celebrities are like bathing in children's blood.
You know this video's gonna get deleted.
Probably will. But that you do.
You're not on the radar enough for that yet, but when you get 1 million subscribers, not even that, when you get like 10,000 subscribers, they're gonna look back over this and be like, dude,
So,
straight.
so that's a side step. Go back to the blood. So you believe
Go ahead.
you believe Will Smith and you can name them off, but you think they all
They're on the list.
they bathe in blood from
Bathe in blood?
or whatever, like they do something with baby blood from Planned Parenthood.
And wear children's
Oh
skin
no,
Yeah.
boots.
you're talking about.
So you're into some of this too.
Okay, so
I am.
you're being a little funny about it, but it's you gotta make light of some of this stuff just to
You're
talk
right. I'd be a
about
little
the
funny
shit.
about it.
Bathing in blood, like, have you seen that movie Hostel Part 2?
People are like, don't talk about it. What? Am I the only one in the dark here? Like,
Dude, you have to talk about this stuff. We gotta talk about this stuff. Stuff's gonna come out on mainstream television one day. It may not be CNN covering it, but it's gonna be someone's gonna be covering it.
You ever read the interview of with Macaulay Culkin? And he was talking about how these people was wearing like children's skin boots and all that other stuff.
Oh, the red slippers.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Pedestrian,
That's really
what's his face, and all
kids,
of them had on.
kid skin.
Oh yeah, heard a lot about that.
I read that interview and I was like this. I don't think it's.
How
I
sick
don't
are
think
these
it's
people,
out of bounds.
is
at
that why
all.
everybody calls? Is that
How
why black
sick
people
are
call
those people?
white devils? Because of all this stuff?
I don't know.
No,
I don't think so.
I mean, no.
That's a whole different thing.
Oh, okay. I'm just trying to learn.
Who's the guy? Bill Maher.
Bill Maher.
He's also got the red slippers. He's in that photo with like 14 or 15 people, and the Podesta brothers are in the photo. Bill Maher's in the photo, and I'm forgetting some people, but there's a bunch of elite in the
Frazzle
photo.
Drip? What is that?
Huh?
Frazzle Drip? Does that ring a bell?
I don't know Frazzle Drip.
Somebody, my boy Doss.
I know what drip drop disclosure is. That's what they're trying to do right now.
What's that?
I got some stuff I haven't told you about.
What is this? What is it? What'd you call it? Shizzle, dizzle drop? What is it?
I don't know.
No, you just said. What did you say?
I got some drip drop disclosure stuff.
Yeah, that. What is that?
Drip drop just refers to the fact that you can't unload everything on people all at once. You have to give them little bits at a time that ties together so people can make sense of this stuff and understand that it's real.
I haven't mixed this. Yeah, you're doing a terrible job.
No, you know about some of this stuff. He's
Somebody.
being funny right now, but this guy knows a lot.
I don't know a lot.
He's been quite awake for a minute now.
No,
You see through the smoke and mirrors and the horse shit that they're feeding us.
I just say I don't believe anybody. That's all I say. I don't know what you like. All this. I mean,
It's hard. I will grant you that it's hard to believe anything you hear in this day and age. When you see how they treated the 2016 election and how biased they were and all this shit that we're seeing today, I mean, you really cannot believe anything that comes on that TV, even in your local morning news. I mean, it's bad. It's bad. It's scripted. They got their 4 o'clock talking points. That's where you get the Mockingbird media from, where they're all saying the same things, literally word for word. I mean, they're reading the script, it's a teleprompter, but they're all reading the same thing. I mean, if that doesn't ring a bell, I mean, what will for these people? You know?
So like that's where it gets kind of like okay. So there have been some reporters. I can't remember. There was one that talked about this more recently. That was a Fox News anchor. I can't remember her name, but there's been several reporters that have since been exiled from that league, if you will, that talked about how Fox News or CNN, as an example, they are working with the GOP or the DNC, and that they do kind of go over the days.
I can agree with that.
And then
for the most part.
they like will say no, don't do that, or change this narrative or whatever. So and there's been many reporters come out and talk about that. Ex-reporters rather. So I don't know if that's conspiracy or not.
Ex-reporters in the sense that they said something that while they're still employed and were let go.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, but there's been plenty of those as an example. I can't remember. There's a real famous one that was this year. She got people that showed up at her house with like guns and stuff recently. Anyway,
Look what happened to Roger Stone. He's not even a reporter.
That dude's weird. Period.
He is weird. He's probably got some ties that we don't know about, but he's supporting Trump and what Trump is doing, and I think Trump is on the right track. I don't think he's a saint by any means, but I think that he's doing the job, and if Roger Stone's behind him on that, I think he's part of the White Hats.
What job? What?
To get rid of all this shit we're talking about.
Drain the swamp?
Draining the swamp, man. Getting things back to what they should be, where people are in office representing the people and not just trying to be the next one in line to make a deal, international deal, to stand in line and collect money.
I like him.
These people have been looking at becoming politicians as opportunists to get in line, to create laws, to create just different orders and what have you, to get them to be the only one that sets up a business, an oil business, or anything that has to do with making billions and millions and billions of dollars. They've been setting this up. A lot of it is bribes. A lot of it is just bribes. They get hundreds of thousands of $1 million from foreign governments to just do bribes to make business deals with these people to make sure that they can be in line to make money on their end.
Like Soros? You talk about him a lot.
Soros, ooh.
But this is why I say I would pay a
that's an evil
politician
son of a bitch.
before I vote for a politician. It's just the way it goes. That's the business part of it.
I mean, Soros is on record. Did you ever see that 60 Minutes interview that he did?
I've seen clips of it.
It's from the 90s. It's like, I don't remember who did it. It was like Bar Walters or somebody who, I don't remember who did it. But they asked him if he had any remorse about doing the job that he did, where he turned in all of his fellow Jewish.
When he like,
He's a Hungarian Jew, right?
when he like 12 or something though.
He was in his teen years. I don't know how old he was. I want to say he was like 14 or 15, but he could have been 12. But the whole point is he literally admitted on live TV that he didn't give a damn about selling these people out, knowing that they were going to be literally killed right away.
So that
In exchange for his freedom, which, I don't know, man. That's one of those crazy conscience things, but I don't know, man.
So what you think the plan is with the whole Black Lives Matter thing there with Soros?
Black Lives Matter?
Yeah, with Soros.
Well, it's a disruptor. It's a big.
What do you think is disrupting though? What do you think is disrupting?
What is it disrupting?
Yes.
It's trying to cause, of course, race riots. Want to cause race riots, and they want to cause an excuse to tear down the blue collar society because they've ruined a lot of businesses, and that ties into the coronavirus. But some of these places are burning people's businesses down, and burning apartment buildings down, and destroying buildings, and ransacking, looting and stuff. Like, that's not going to really accomplish anything. And a lot of these people are doing it to their own neighborhoods. What sense does that make? I mean, it's just the people that are doing the rioting and the looting. I feel like it's a combination of 4 different types of people. You got paid, trained agitators. They're the ones leading the packs. They're the ones that are involved with the bricks being dropped somewhere. They're coordinating the stuff. They're the first ones to throw the brick. They're all that.
I'm glad Dallas didn't fall for that.
Okay, so that's one. The second group of people out there are legitimately mentally ill individuals. They just don't understand the good and the bad and what they're doing. They think that they're out there for a purpose. They don't know what they're there for. They're idiots. They can answer 2 questions if you ask them anything about any politics. They don't know anything. The third person that's out there are just, I guess that ties in, I would say low IQ individuals that are just out there just following marching orders. They think they're being a part of something that's bigger, and they just want to destroy stuff. The fourth, I feel like, is opportunists. People that just want to be there when the Louis Vuitton window breaks and they can go in there and take 7 to 10 purses or whatever it is. You got a lot of opportunists out there.
So do you think it's just general citizens out there that actually think they're part of a change and want to move the needle?
I think there are some leftists out there that aren't evil. They do believe that they're doing something right, and they believe that they are part of something bigger and they're part of a movement, and they want to talk about this later in their lives, and they're proud of what they're doing, and it's like a hippie movement again or something. But I do believe there is a small percentage of people out there, but I think most people in their right minds would want to get out there and get involved with stuff like that, just to be honest. That's why I think it's so set up.
Why you believe that? Why you think that?
I don't know. I just can't find myself out in the middle of the streets trying to run around, breaking stuff, killing people.
I thought you went to a Black Lives Matter.
Hell no.
You went to a march.
I'm sitting at home watching stuff on the couch like, are these people serious?
No, you went to a march.
The movement's real. The organization, I feel like, is not.
Correct.
We're
on the same page with that.
Yeah, when you go to their website and you go to donate to Black Lives Matter, it takes you to a whole other website. It's called Act Blue or something, which is Democratic Party. Blue is Democratic Party, right? And I think Act Blue is the second largest donor to the Biden 2020 campaign. Don't quote me on this stuff. I'm guilty for not knowing details, but I know some of the stuff. I've seen the information. I'm guilty for not remembering everything and not taking notes. I don't remember dates. I don't remember.
You did a Black Lives Matter march, didn't you?
No.
I thought you did.
I don't.
I took off work that time because I had to do the shit by myself.
You have a Bob Marley shirt on.
Yeah. What Bob?
I'm saying. I mean.
I thought you did, but I thought you and your girl went to a march with her church.
No,
in Dallas.
Man.
Yeah,
we went to a gathering that was out in
gathering that was walking around in Dallas.
There was not a single Black Lives Matter.
Well, whatever. It was.
Okay.
So
Don't get it confused. I'll tell you what we went to. Just let me talk for just a second. It was more or less. It was okay. So she goes to an all-black church, and I'm the white guy. I'm like one of the only guys in this white, right? Okay, but that's fine. And so they had a church gathering that they tried to make a publicized thing to the extent where they invited a lot of other churches and other people to make congregation out there to just fight against the violence in our neighborhoods and stuff like that, and black on black crime and all crime for that matter. You know, it's killing ourselves and stuff, and that's what that was about. It had nothing to do with Black Lives Matter.
Well,
That was before. Matter of fact, that could have been right before all the Black Lives Matter. We even heard a single thing about Black Lives Matter. It was not Black Lives Matter.
No, I'm saying like Black Lives Matter's been around for a while. It was this year. That's just what I thought it was. And I just thought it was funny because you were like a super Trump guy and you're going with that.
I'm not a super Trump guy. I just want the truth, and I think he's doing the right thing.
You're a super Trump guy. In our Twitter group,
I'm not.
you're a super Trump guy.
I'm not. I don't even have a MAGA hat. I don't even have this stuff. There's people that don't.
Your
give
girl
a
would
shit.
beat the shit out of you if you brought that home.
That's not true.
So do you and your girl got different politics then?
I think she's still learning a lot about it, and she's still open to what things the truth is. And I show her stuff all the time. She does not like Trump. She just does not like Trump.
My wife doesn't either.
I try to explain to her that he's just doing a job right now for amnesty for him and his family, and they're just trying to make out the end of this on the good end. Because, like I said, I don't think he's a saint. He has ties to the New York Mafia. He has ties to the Vatican and the Italian Mafia and the Jesuits and stuff.
What's a Jesuit?
Jesuit is a secret society.
It's not very secret. You know about it.
That's all I know about it, that it exists.
This proves that you can be in a relationship, have different politics. All you crazies out there that's ruining friendships, family, marriages, y'all are weirdos. It ain't that serious.
You need to stop watching the TV.
Boom.
Y'all need to stop watching TV and believing everything you hear. The movement is real. It's past due. The organization and where they're putting their money and energy, garbage. Democratic Party, far leftist, Soros agenda. Period. Just like Media Matters, he owns so much stuff. Look how much stuff Soros owns. He's like a trillionaire. He owns entire countries.
I'm gonna be honest.
And everything in the shit.
If I was super rich, and I'm just knowing this from just being around country clubs, people who are well off, they get bored. They get bored quick, and they start doing a lot of shit to entertain themselves. If I was Soros type of rich, shit, I mean, why not play with people? I know that's
more money, more problems.
I know that's kind of fucked up. I mean, messed up to hear. I'm sorry, Mr. Man.
Biggie
I'm sorry.
said it the best. More money, more problems.
There are so many people agreeing with you right now. That makes me feel some kind of way.
So
I don't know if they're agreeing with all your, alien.
Well, I don't know. I'm not here for people to agree with me. I'm just telling you what I hear and what I discern, what I feel like is truth. And I appreciate people agreeing with me because it shows me that they're doing their research. They keep, they're showing me that they're doing their research and that people are changing. The Great Awakening is happening, and it can't be stopped.
You
It's
sent
not
me,
going to
you
stop.
sent me the links to some of the channels you watch. I've been watching them for not.
One of you don't like a lot, and I like it. I like Dave and the X22 Report. That's a good channel.
Dude, every video that person makes, it's coming. Get ready, the Patriots are coming. He's been saying that for years.
But you realize, you have to understand, as a cheerleader for the white hat movement, I guess, if you will, he has to end on a positive note. We gotta keep this cheerleading thing going and keep morale up, and we gotta keep this going.
And he never predicts anything. He just talks. He just puts a spin.
That's not true.
He puts a spin on current news. He just puts a weird spin on it.
Well, he has said something that you'll agree with. He said that whoever the vice president that is chosen by Biden is basically going to be the president, and he's going to drop out.
Well, a lot of people say that, though.
Huh?
A lot of people say that.
Biden's not healthy enough to even.
Dude, they do not want Biden to go head to head with Trump. He will get destroyed. This guy forgets the sentence he said 6 seconds ago.
Biden, if you hear this, you're in your camp. All you gotta do to win is shut the hell up. Stop talking. You would do good. Just stop talking.
I don't think so. I think he needs to retire from politics and crawl into a hole.
I ain't gonna say that. He's obviously sick. Something's going on, and what the DNC
Nah, he is sick.
what the DNC is doing to that man is terrible.
Think about all the stress behind the scenes in this level of politics and stuff. How many death threats do you get from other millionaires and billionaires? I'm gonna kill you next week.
I mean, we saw it with Obama, how he came in looking, how he left looking. I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want that job. Trump was gonna lose the rest of his hair by the time.
I don't know,
done.
man. He's got some plugs. He's got some plug doctors. You gotta have plug doctors. He's gonna have plugs. He's already got them ready and cloned from his own real hair. He's a millionaire, billionaire, whatever.
I don't know where to go from here. I'm very.
I'll tell you about something I've never told you about. Antarctica. That's something you need to talk about with these people because it's getting ready to come down the pipeline. There's a hidden, frozen, pre-Adamite civilization that is under the ice in Antarctica with pyramids and bases that predate ancient Egypt. Marinate on that one.
I have no clue.
Did your mind just
I'm about to look it up.
No.
look it up?
Okay, so
You're not gonna. First of all, you're not gonna see or hear anything about this on any. Fox News didn't cover the Antarctica story yet.
Let me ask you this, because you were talking about the.
That happened with the pole shift. A flash freeze happened,
Okay.
which is part of the cataclysm that the Bible talks about.
Okay. So you talked about the original families, right?
There is a what?
The original families, bloodlines,
Uh-huh.
right? Now I could be just going crazy here. I'm into the whole vampire werewolf thing. See what I'm saying? But they deal with a lot of bloodlines, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I always kind of tied that into.
Wait, what?
They always kind of tied those bloodlines they talk about
Mm-hmm.
into, I guess, the American society of the original society of who owns America. Those
Right.
bloodlines.
The bloodlines.
Yeah.
The queen and everybody.
Right.
You said vampires and werewolves?
Yeah, I'm into this. Yeah. Because they really
So,
talk
I
about
guess you're
bloodlines.
saying what is
Like you mean like
the
from a fantasy standpoint, or from real life?
I mean, I believe, like you said, I believe movies tell us a lot. They just disguise it in a lot of entertainment. So when they talk about bloodlines, you know what I'm saying? I always wondered why those type of movies focus on bloodlines. You know what I'm saying? And I always kind
bloodlines
of,
is a big thing.
and I always thought like, how does that tie into the people that quote unquote own America? Because they talk about the bloodlines a lot.
Well, the bloodlines are the ones that are in charge of the banking system and in charge of these things that run the world. So they are the ones that are in charge of the governments and stuff like that. Those are the ones that we're talking about that are the ultimate deep
Like
state.
the
bloodlines.
Rothschilds?
Yeah, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Merovingian, the Lee family, the Astor family, the Collins family, oh God, the Kennedy family. I'm missing what? 4 more?
4 more, yeah.
5 more? But yeah, man,
My
those
name is
people.
Floyd Tannehill. Remember that?
They're the ones. They're the ones that have tried to keep their bloodlines the most pure over the thousands of years. Some of them can trace their bloodlines back to Jesus. Some of them can trace their bloodlines back to Cain and Abel, and these, relics from the past, and these people from the past. So
why are they doing so much evil?
that's a good
Or are
question.
they?
I don't understand why they want to be like they are. There's hidden sciences and stuff that we don't understand and we don't know about, which is probably why they get the vampirism of the drinking of the blood,
Mhm.
and they fill it with the adrenochrome. Oh, you're definitely believing now. I'm just kidding. No,
This is getting taken down.
They're gonna be at your door tomorrow, David. No, I'm kidding. You're not on that radar yet, but they're gonna come back and find this video because this is to make you on the radar.
I don't know what the hell y'all are talking about. Look, you go.
Well, you mentioned something earlier about them swimming in pools of blood or whatever you're talking about with sacrificing people and stuff.
You say that. I don't say that.
Oh, well, I'm talking about what you mentioned earlier.
Right.
They do rituals with blood and with babies and different wild
From
stuff like
Planned
that.
Parenthood?
Planned Parenthood. Oh God, this stuff is hard to talk about, dude. This stuff really is hard. I don't think a lot of these people are ready to hear this stuff, man. Planned Parenthood sells fetuses to people so they can do whatever they want to do with them.
So do you think?
And
Because I
some
know
of
there's a lot of studies out there about black women and their fetuses and their fetuses containing a whole bunch of nutrients and the key to life and everything like that. And that was a big thing with Planned Parenthood and why they abort so many babies and they try to keep the placenta and all these other things.
I didn't hear the nutrient side of things. I probably figured they all had nutrients. I wouldn't say black ones have more than the white ones or what have you. Um, I will say this. I was talking um, to someone the other day saying something along the lines of like, well, if Black Lives Matter so much, why is there an abortion clinic in every low-income neighborhood in America, if not two or three? It's not about Black Lives that matter. It's about what they're trying to do to fulfill the agenda. They want race riots. They want division, divide and conquer. It's the oldest strategy in the book.
See, I don't.
People.
See, I don't believe in the whole the division thing.
You don't think they're trying to divide us?
Mm-mm.
That's
So
what
what
that's
do you
because Shia of the Booth was like, they will not divide us. And he
No, I mean,
said,
okay, because for
The
me,
smart people won't be divided. The winners, all the winners that hang out, it don't matter what color you are, we're all winners. You know, we hang out. You know, they're not going to divide us. It's the sheep. It's the sheep that they're going to try to divide and have the lines drawn.
gotcha.
A lot
Yeah,
of the
'cause
winners ain't going to see that for what it is. They're going to be like, no, no, no. And then we're going to be the leaders after that.
Yeah, because I ain't gonna lie, people irritate the hell out of me with this whole great divide thing. It's like, okay, where is this divide are we talking about? For me personally, no matter what, I can go on a white people rant, white people this, white people that, and then come hang out with a white person. It doesn't, for me, it's not a divide thing. And honestly, when I'm seeing this, when I'm speaking, and mostly I think what a lot of people need to make this distinction. It's not white people you want to blame. It's more than the government and the structure and the things that it allows to kind of simmer along. You know, it's like it's the perpetuating stupid shit. Correct. You know what I'm saying? So it takes the worst of all of us, and it kind of just throws little things in there. Kind of like, okay, like the last thing that everybody got up in the world about with the NFL, right? Now the real name of that song is not the Black National Anthem. So to put it that way, of course they knew they was going to cause a reaction amongst everybody, all right? And it's like, okay, why not just call the song what it is? But that's what adds to the divide that I don't believe. You know what I'm saying? Because it's simple things that I think the left and the right needs to understand how they get played, and the left and the media works hand in hand. They work hand in hand to actually agitate the hell out of the right. And it works perfectly. It works perfect. If you think of it as a business move or just chess or anything, you think of a great plan.
It's a chess move.
Right. All the media on the left does, right? They word things and they say things to agitate the shit out of the right? And so is a reason, like I said, is a reason the right and conservatives are called reactionaries, right? They always reacting to the left. And it's probably my most criticism I have on the right. I need y'all to get together and do y'all own thing. Don't worry about what the left is doing. Focus on your plan, and things will go well. Stop reacting to what the media and the left is doing, because I want y'all to understand something. That's what's causing the divide, part of the divide. Because here's the thing: left in the media triggers the right. And the right attacks black people and culture and history and everything else. And then y'all tell us, hey, the media is playing on y'all emotions. No, the media is playing on your emotions, because they know they can trigger you, and then you're going to attack the one group. So I need y'all to understand this. Y'all are part of the divide that y'all are saying is happening. It ain't just the left. The left is just hitting a button, and you're reacting to that button. So stop being reactionaries. That's all you got to do. And it won't be this whole great divide thing. It won't strengthen that divide that you think is happening. Because the more you react to it, the more people that's going to do this. And honestly, all it does is take away votes from the right. The right has to understand the only reason they don't have a big, large black support is because its own supporters. Because what comes out of y'all mouth. Because when you attack black people, you attack their history, you attack their culture, you attack them personally. Because of what the left is triggering you with. Stop being reactionaries. Be smarter.
Be smart.
You know what I'm saying? Take the meat, leave the bone. All right. That's my piece on that.
Don't believe everything you hear, man. They pick and choose their stories. They know when and how and what to produce to get results. They know what ruffles people's feathers. They
Correct.
know what they're doing. This is high level chess. This is not a game of checkers. This is high level 4D, 5D chess.
I beat my 5-year-old at checkers the other day. It's gonna count for something.
How many kings did you get?
A lot.
So yeah, you
She's
ran the
fine.
board after that.
She's fine.
She's fine.
You know. What are you gonna do?
Hey man, what else do you guys want to touch on? Do you want to keep talking about this Antarctica stuff or what?
Well, you didn't finish it, so
Yeah, I didn't really ever finish it, did I? Okay, so where did I leave off on?
You just talked about some kind of ancient civilization that's under the ice with pyramids.
Okay,
And
so
particle something or other.
basically, from what I've heard, there was an ancient civilization. Okay, there used to be at least one or two more big, large planets in our solar system. One was called Tiamat, one was called Maldek.
Where'd they go?
They were blown up. And I think Maldek was the biggest one, or one was the moon of the other, or something. I don't know. See, this is where I don't hold me to all the details and stuff. I'm just telling you some of the stuff I've heard. There was a large intergalactic, almost civil war there on that planet, and what ended up happening is they blew that planet up, and that planet became the asteroid belt that we have. Before that planet was blown up, they left that planet. Some left that planet and came to Earth and colonized parts of Earth, and when they came into Earth, they had something happen, something went wrong with the ship that they had, and they landed, crash landed in Antarctica. This was before the flood. This was before the cataclysm in the Bible and all that stuff, if I'm not mistaken. This was a long time ago, before Antarctica froze. Okay, back in the times of Atlantis, if you will. And long story short, they got stranded here, and they were like these 8-foot to like 12-foot and 14-foot tall beings. They had these big bellies, and that's where these ancient Egypt pictures and hieroglyphs and depictions come from of these ancient pharaohs. And you notice how they all have these huge bellies and stuff. They come from those bloodlines of those ancient pre-Adamite beings that crash landed there. Okay, so that was developed, and that became like a major continent and a major area on Atlantis back then and stuff. And they feuded with the Lemurians and some other people, and there was a lot of stuff going on back then.
Lemurians?
Lemurians?
Is that what the hell's that?
It was a large continent that was on the Earth back when Atlantis was around.
Okay. Alright.
I know a lot of this stuff is hard to believe, and I still want to see the evidence. I mean, but I'm just telling you what I've heard.
And so,
So basically, what's happening in Antarctica right now is the Earth is heating up, and the poles are turning, and the poles are shifting, and so Antarctica. It's not climate change like what they're saying. It's just the Earth's tilting. This stuff happens naturally. It's not anything to be scared of or anything. When the pole does a complete flip, that's when you need to be like, holy shit, we're all gonna die. But that's not happening. It's like moving just feet and stuff. But it doesn't matter. What's happening in Antarctica is the ice is melting at a pretty fast rate, and it's basically essentially having its own disclosure. So Mother Earth is having its own disclosure, basically, because what's getting ready to melt down to where they can't hide anymore are pyramids and this big spaceship that they colonized out, because they had to cannibalize the spaceship. Spaceship was non-operational after that, so they lived out of the spaceship. They built it up to be a city and a continent and stuff, right? And so they had to do that. And so that spaceship, these pyramids that are under all that ice up there, they're getting ready to be revealed, and they're going to be unavoidable. There will be so many news stories about this. It's gonna come out in the next probably 2 or 3 years.
So is that why you have to get all kinds of permits and stuff to go there?
That's part of it. Yes, exactly right.
So then how did
you are not allowed in Antarctica?
Right,
You cannot just go to Antarctica.
Right. So that's true. But how come Ross Edgley was able to walk across the entire continent?
Who knows that even happened?
Well, he live streamed the whole thing basically.
God, I don't know. Who knows he was even in Antarctica?
He, you know who Los Angeles is?
No.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, this is the type of shit we're dealing with here.
So why would he, just some dude, like, what? How do you know how much it would take to keep all that hidden? How many people would have to keep a secret?
That's why it's called the secret society.
It doesn't take many people to keep a secret. When you get threatened for your life, a lot of people keep a lot of secrets. And your family's life. And they'll kill your family before they kill you.
So how does that go? How does that go from whatever you just said, and then they flip it and talk about climate change? Or what is? Are they not?
They're not talking about the two together. They're not talking about Antarctica at all. That's something that they avoid. Why did John Kerry go to Antarctica and Barack Obama go to Antarctica in the middle of the runnings of this last presidential election?
I wonder where they did that.
Right now, there are Nazis that have bases under the ice over there in Antarctica, and that's part of what Admiral Byrd and Project High Jump was all about. And Hitler going to Argentina and living the rest of his life in Argentina and having, what's her name now? What's the one, the Chancellor of Germany? I can't remember her name. Merkel. Yeah, that's Hitler's daughter. People are like, that's impossible, man. Yeah, but he didn't die. They let him go, man. He was given orders and given amnesty to go to Argentina and live the rest of his life on farms down there. The Bushes have large farms down there. I mean, you can look this stuff up.
A farm of ice?
A farm of ice?
Yeah.
No, just land where people can live the rest of their lives in
Wait, are we on Antarctica?
solitary confinement, basically. Huh?
Are we talking Antarctica?
We're talking about what happened and where we are with Antarctica now, and that the Nazis that died off and stuff, and the ones that had all the technology broke away as a breakaway civilization, and now they have bases they colonize under the Antarctica. In Antarctica, they have bases on the moon, and they have some other deep underground bases and stuff, but those are the main ones.
You got nothing. Can you help me out here?
How much of this do you share with your lady?
I can't share all this
from
with my lady.
percent wise.
From a percent wise?
Yeah, 10, 20%, 15. Okay.
So I talk about stuff all the time, but I don't go in depth with it because she's like, I don't want to hear about it.
So does she? So okay.
Or she's like,
If she
makes
watches
fun of me.
this,
She won't watch it, but she might.
you will be in trouble.
No, I won't be in trouble.
I feel like you will be.
She gonna be like, I'm in love with a crazy white man. Lord.
Okay, so you were talking about the polar, whatever is the tilt.
It's just small shifts that are the globe is heating up a little bit. It's not much. It's not like what they're saying. We're not going to be dying from the heat.
So what's the motivation behind pushing the climate change narrative?
Honestly, I just think it's another grab for our freedoms, man. It's another tax that they want to put on the world. It's another way they want to change society as a whole.
The entire globe.
The entire globe.
How the fuck? Who's orchestrating that?
Who do you think?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
People at the top, man. The Rothschilds, the Soros, the bad elements, man. That stuff's not what they say it is, man. It's when you got Greta Thunberg talking about climate change, you know something's wrong.
How dare you? Okay,
I think I was like 14 years old.
So, thoughts on COVID?
Scam.
Scam.
On a large scale, God bless. Dude, some people took the bait and ran with it.
Yeah, okay. Can you expand on that? How's it a scam?
Well, the thing is the first thing is you have to understand how all this works. You create a problem, you scare the shit out of people, and then you come in with the solution. This is boom, boom, boom. It doesn't take much.
What the fuck's that?
I don't know.
You get a super chat?
Dude, I don't know what that is.
What was that?
But why did it go to your head? Why was it a light bulb? And why did it go to you?
It went to me?
Yeah, it went to you.
What does that mean?
Hey.
Dude, we're all new to this, man. I don't know anything about YouTube.
What the
I
was
thought
that?
stuff like that happened when you got a super chat and someone donated money to you.
My channel is too small for that.
Anyone can super chat you.
No, you have to have a certain amount of subscribers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
Which we desperately need. We don't have to do this through the PlayStation anymore.
Well, we got 187 likes. We got 187 likes. We need 188. That's a bad number.
What? Oh, your number's going.
What were we just talking about?
COVID.
Scam.
Right. How? Why?
Okay, so you got psychopath Bill Gates trying to get his vaccine and everybody. You got everyone trying to shut down all the mom and pop stores and stuff and get the blue collar class completely eradicated. So that way you just have the haves and the have-nots. And have you ever seen the movie Elysium?
Yeah.
It's a good movie. It's got a lot of truth in that movie. That they want you to know that that's how it might be in the future. They want you to know that they're gonna separate us.
I joke a lot. You seen the movie Equilibrium?
Remind me which one that one is. I've heard of it. I know what it is. If you remind me, I don't know if I've seen it recently.
So the guy
Denzel?
no, it's the guy that plays Batman. It's Christian Bale, right?
Okay.
Oh, that's real old movie.
And they did the gun kata.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And so they outlawed books. They burned books.
The lesbian-
Everybody had to take like medicine in the morning, and it was kind of like a weird society of being. I think if you watch Equilibrium, I joke a lot, but I'm like, y'all keep playing. This is what's gonna be real for real.
Kind of like almost all the sci-fi movies, Minority Report, The Hunger Games, all these wild ass movies and sci-fi movies.
I actually thought Hunger Games was kind of spot on
of
things.
Isn't it? Come on, let's talk the truth here. I mean, dude.
I think that faction thing, and with all, I think that's very well possible.
They have a
Texas
lot of
may be
movies.
the last hope.
Dude,
we need
let
to
me
break
tell
the
you
fuck
something.
away from what's going on.
Texas is a major target. They probably feel like that if they can get Texas back to where they want it to be, which never has been what they want it to be. If they can get it to where they
can
want
flip it.
Texas to be, it's a major win for them. We have so much land in Texas. We're right on the border. Think the endless possibilities corrupt assholes can do.
California people, don't come here with that silly shit.
Don't come
Y'all
here
are-
trying to live
y'all
in our
already
state
done
and fuck our shit up.
Y'all already done tried to bring a couple of that blue California shit
I
here.
know some of them.
And that's weird. That's weird shit. I'm gonna tell you this. I ain't been a Texan for very long, but I understand the mindset of Texans at this point. Honestly, it's
Don't take our guns.
This place, honestly, it put me in the right mindset, and it actually got me understanding liberty and freedom. All right, as far as government wise, I've said it before. This is probably the best and the most healthiest government I've been under, because I come from Chicago and Minnesota. So that's why. So if you think I'm just a Republican or anything like that, overly conservative, nah. What happened is I grew up in all blue shit. That shit is not healthy.
That's what the comments look like.
Don't I don't, and excuse my language, Mr. and Mrs. Maddox, I don't fuck with the blue thing, the total blue thing, all right? I like Texas because all the major cities are blue, but it's the state is red. I think that's a healthy balance. But California people that's coming here, please don't come here with your same politics trying to turn this into California. If it's one state in this country that will start a civil war amongst itself, I think Texas would be it. There's no way y'all go convince the rural Texans that keep the state red to follow along with that blue shit y'all trying to come here and do. I posted about the dang the GoFundMe and the funding y'all got going on of Flip Texas Blue, and I actually combated that, and I come y'all know I come against conservatives all the time about being lazy, about having no plan and not having any foresight, and that's why I hate when y'all have the attitude of it's Chicago. It would never be red. If Democrats thought like that, they would not be planning the shit they've been planning to come here to flip Texas. Y'all wouldn't have lost Virginia either if y'all would have the foresight to grow some balls and get on your own plan and stop being reactionaries. So, the right, red, conservatives, whatever y'all want to call it, I'm gonna need y'all to update your survival, your tactics of guerrilla warfare. because the left got y'all faded. They foresight and their planning is extremely better, extremely more tactical, and they have a better set of soldiers on the ground, willing to do whatever's necessary, whether it's create chaos. They have a lot of people in the media. I'm gonna need y'all to catch up, because if you don't, you gonna lose the country. So all that we got a country to save shit. If that maybe that's just a slogan. I don't know if it's true or not, but I think you need to stop lying to your supporters and get on the ball and stop acting like excuse my language again, Mr. and Miss Mattis. Stop acting like bitches.
Okay.
Texas is the greatest state in the United States.
So
I'll go on record and say
my
that.
man Jay got known for a long time. He's out of Houston. He's saying that you're not speaking correctly at all.
Okay, about what?
I don't know. That's why I will wait to see what he says. I'm curious because he's a pretty staunch Democrat.
Okay, look, like I said, I come from blue states.
He drives weird cars like you as well.
I come from blue states, Chicago and Minnesota. That shit ain't healthy. If you look on government, if you look at government pools, Minnesota is number 3 and number 4 every year as the top, as number 3 and 4. The cities that St. Paul, Minnesota is the worst cities for Black Americans. Period. That's government polling. That's backed up. So you can feel how you want to feel with your liberal self. That's fine. You have a right to that. But prove it with your data. Prove it with data, not with your feelings. That's all. I lived it.
When you talk to someone that grew up in California bullshit, they're right. When they come over here and tell you how screwed up it is over there, it's no joke. And Chicago's horrible. I don't know who else worse, California or Chicago.
And
California,
Chicago's
the whole
home for me.
state almost is screwed.
Chicago's home for me, but I'm just be real. That blue thing, I'm not with it because I've seen what it does to my people, honestly. So it has nothing to do with politics. It's just lived experience. I'm not with it. That's not a liberal, conservative, left, right, leaning, or whatever. That's just common sense. If
Which is not so common.
If we're saying that politics is real and everything is a plan, that blue plan ain't nothing. I'm with. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. Fuck that.
Sorry to hurt your snowflake feelings.
I was raised with conservative values, and that has literally zero to do with politics at all. At all. I'll be right back. I'm taking a piss.
We've covered so many things, and I'm just left with so many more questions. So dumbfounded. I don't even know where to go from here. Like I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, so my brain ain't firing on all cylinders. But I want to just straight roast y'all.
Oh,
but
go ahead, man.
I can't because my brain ain't firing.
It's a free country.
But I'm not. I don't even know what to say. Oh, this man is over here peeing outside and then talking about how he's got some more stuff. What? There's a lot of shit talk going on in the comment section too. And it's always these no faith having bums that just want to run their mouth the most.
Yeah.
I love people like that. They make me smile. Alan, they keep saying that you look the gayest, implying that we also look gay.
That I look the gayest?
Yeah.
The fuck does it have to do with gay or straight or whatever?
I have no idea.
What you have is a lot of trolls on yours, I feel like.
That's fine.
Trolls gonna be trolls.
So what did you have to tell us?
I mean, I don't know what all you guys want to talk about.
No, you said, well, you were over there.
There's a lot to talk about. What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. You said you had something to say.
Let's talk about Bigfoot.
Don't do that. don't be talking about my people. That's my answer.
Nah, man, but seriously, have you ever heard what the Native Americans say and tell about Bigfoot? They say he's a time traveler and can teleport. Dude, I'm serious. You got to look into these Native
How did
Americans.
Native Americans even know what time travel was?
Dude, Native Americans were like homies with Bigfoot, bruh. Yeah, you just had a brain melt.
No, I didn't. Well, maybe. I mean, I just took a damn.
They were homies.
I had to take a headache medicine to drive me insane with this nonsense.
I did.
No, but think about it. Like, I mean, if they were, that would make sense why they can just, like, walk right into the woods and disappear. I mean, come on.
Okay,
Let's talk about extraterrestrials and aliens. That's so deep.
Just real quick on the Bigfoot. The way I understood it was I can't remember where they came from, but when they were coming down, walking through the land bridge before the continent separated, they were they speculate that there was a short-faced bear that was enormous. Like
A bear that was
a short-faced bear. Yeah, look it up. Insane. And
okay.
they were preventing most humans from coming over for a really long time.
So that was like probably something that was left over from prehistoric times.
Right. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about, but I never heard anything about it.
I don't think that Bigfoots are something like an extraterrestrial. I heard that Bigfoots were here on this planet like back when ancient Neanderthals were here and stuff, and that they're native to this land, but they are not.
So I'm alien.
Humans.
I'm not human.
They're not. They don't. They're humanoid.
I'm not human. I'm near.
Did you watch the last Hotep interview with Young Pharaoh?
Not yet. It's on my. I have a Rogan to watch within that one.
So watch that and then think about everything that he's saying as far as this whole alien thing. Even though Young Pharaoh say,
Young Pharaoh's good.
Also, you know who he is?
I know Young Pharaoh.
Okay, so he basically says that black people are. Yeah, just watch that interview.
No, finish what you're gonna say.
Watch he basically.
Because they're the true natives of the planet Earth.
Or we're alien.
I will piggyback on that and say that a really high level insider told the world, if you will, that a lot of the extraterrestrials are black.
That's what he was saying.
A lot of them.
So I'm sitting.
And a lot of them look like Mayans. A lot of them look like Native Americans.
So I'm gonna start calling you Dark Matter.
Look, just watch the interview and then think about everything he's saying. I'm sitting here like this.
So they're getting the same information from the same goddamn.
I don't listen. I don't know.
That's how you learn the truth, though.
YouTube
You gotta
channels?
discern it
For
from
some dude named XZ3D or whatever.
Hey, when I watched that interview, and even though I'm sitting here listening to him, I'm like this. I am so low level. Then them two is on. It's like they're physically here.
Right, but then
but they're somewhere.
No, they're just gonna DMT a bunch.
They are somewhere else.
Psilocybin.
And it's like, damn. It's like what? It's like you hear them talking. It's like this. Where am I? Where have I been?
That's all I'm saying.
Me and my dumb human ass. I'm just sitting there. I'm worried about the humanity, and they like, look, we not even human.
Are you talking about Young Pharaoh and me?
Huh?
Who are you talking about?
No, I'm saying from where y'all at with y'all knowledge and how y'all where y'all at completely with all the knowledge you guys have.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'm
me and
here.
Young Pharaoh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm here. Y'all are over there somewhere. And it's like, see, I'm worried about humanity, and y'all like, look, we ain't even human.
No, there's no one here that's on this planet that's supposed to be here. We were literally this planet was farmed basically to be what it is. Over thousands and hundreds of thousands
to be human slaves.
Years. Well, that ultimately, yeah, but that was done by our own. That were sold out to extraterrestrials.
Man, this is the discuss on ancient aliens with the guy with the crazy hair.
I love ancient aliens.
Everyone
Everyone out there watch Ancient Aliens. Start from the very first episode and watch every freaking season episode they have.
Right.
You will be on top of it. They don't have it all, of course. There's a lot that they don't talk about. But as far as like ancient structures, megaliths and monoliths and different things that from the past and stuff and the extraterrestrial influence, they're on it. Why are there so many serpents and dragons in reference to ancient past? Who, for real, like really, why?
I don't know.
Well,
it's like storytellers wrote on some rocks.
There was an extraterrestrial influence way, way back when that was reptilian in nature. And they were humanoid. And they were called Dracos.
Is that what Hillary is?
It was called Drake, so that's not the gun. We're not talking about the gun. It's Draco.
Draco.
Wow.
Draco reptilians very, very nasty, very evil sons of bitches.
Is that a play on like Dracula?
Psychopaths. They don't care, huh?
Could that be a play on Dracula at all? Maybe. Oh, am I
he's-
drawing too
that's
many
based
parallels?
on the dude that killed a bunch
The
of
whole blood thing. There are properties in drinking blood and different things that apparently you can get high and have a DMT trip and all these things and have aging effects and all these things from drinking blood that is filled with adrenochrome. And the way to get adrenochrome out,
Adrenochrome?
adrenochrome. And yeah, you're gonna get diluted. But
Sounds like
I'm
some shit you put on your.
kidding,
Sounds like some
babe.
shit you put on one of your lowriders.
But no, but seriously, on all seriousness, the way you get adrenochrome in the blood is you have to torture and scare the life out of people, and you have to, and then you kill them after you do that, and then the adrenochrome's in the blood, and then they drink the blood or they use the blood, and that's how it works.
Is that loosely based on Monster Inc?
I haven't seen Monsters Inc. There's a, I mean,
I feel like I need another sane person here, another human, that can sit here and help me decipher this, and then roast your bitch ass.
let's see what these comments are saying here. I gotta have some fun with some of these people out here. What do we got here? Green My Guy knows his real dough. Go NASA.
What? You probably don't. No, you don't like NASA.
Never a straight answer. That's what they say NASA stands for. Never a straight answer. Hillary is a goblin. She is so damn gross. Of course she's a goblin. She's worse than a goblin.
Jay Wong said the black fella said your people. That's because he says he's a Neanderthal. Well, that's what we were talking about.
What are these guys on?
You can't. There's nothing any of y'all can say to offend me ever. That's in the comments section.
Dude, you gotta be some thin-skinned motherfucker to just get. Man, these are computer warriors, dude. Everyone's a hard ass on the computer. Give me a break. You're never gonna see these people, man. I can talk as much shit as possible. It's all
So
good.
I was hoping you were gonna be with me roasting this man, and you're over here feeling like you're being enlightened.
First, because
How the hell are we friends?
I'm a big conspiracy theorist.
I mean, I remember you saying that, but I thought you meant like with JFK, like normal stuff,
Oh no.
not like this throwed off, golden apple and.
This is how friends get to know each other.
I don't want to know y'all no more.
Maybe
You
this
gotta
is
break the ice, man.
maybe this is the people you attract.
Yeah, obviously.
Come on now. Come on, let's be honest. I believe in group economics, separating yourself from the city and the government, living on your own land.
That I mess with, right? I get that.
Mhm.
You explain it to me. It makes sense. Plenty of other people have done that.
Mhm.
All of this.
I do. Maybe I ain't gonna say maybe. Maybe we do all that to separate ourselves from all this craziness,
Him?
so we can have our own space.
You away from him?
No,
That
from
makes
my own people. My group.
Okay, right. No, I get that, but I'm saying like you're not. But what?
No, separating ourselves from all the
This
craziness.
guy, go walk around the side of the house. Get it.
The craziness that he's talking about that's out here. You need your own space, because if you're in the city and all these things play out, right?
All these things are gonna play out.
They coming to get everybody in the city first.
They're gonna know what the hell you are.
That's fine.
But according to him, they're all aliens with big bellies.
But we at least can have some type of stronghold. We
They
got
ain't no damn stronghold.
we got our own space.
Knowledge is power.
No, it's not. If you have
Yes, it is.
giant lizard people with big bellies,
Not just giant lizard, like 10, 12 foot, 14 foot tall monsters, dude.
So
That
how
weigh
the
like
hell, if you're a
800
little
to
group,
like 1,200 pounds.
gosh darn,
We are in Texas, Illinois, Minnesota. But I'm just saying. What I'm saying is
you're Hellcat, doing the goddamn
we
thing.
have our own space. That's all I'm saying.
Mom,
They coming for the city first.
I could just talk.
help
I
me,
can just talk and
please.
say,
I'm the
hey.
only sane person here. I don't even know what to say anymore. I quit. I'm never doing this again. Like you're supposed to be like, okay, look, your people. I don't drink beer, Like I probably should now at this point. Look, your people run from street magic, okay? But you're all
Run
in
from
this, and you're
street
getting closer to them.
magic.
It
You're
doesn't make any sense to
hilarious.
me. Look it up. Just watch. That's
I've
real shit.
seen the David Blaine shit and all the wild.
What happens? Black people run away immediately. Okay.
Oh, they.
But you're not getting closer to him. I want to enjoy this shit. Like I thought, like we would be seeing eye to eye here.
Oh, dude, you want to talk about magic? Do you want to talk about magic?
If you talk
in the
about Harry
unseen
Potter
world?
and shit, I swear to God.
What?
Go ahead, go. Go ahead.
Did I cut you off?
No, I'm just Start talking about Harry Potter. Let's go. Bring it.
Dude. Alright, well, I'll just say this. I saw this one magic documentary that was a little over 2 hours long. It resonated so well with me after I've been researching for years about a lot of this stuff from the unseen world. And let's just say that magic is something that we don't understand and that is real.
Science.
But the high level magic that these people are doing, like David Copperfield, David Blaine, Chris Angel, those are some of the popular ones. They're being helped by entities from the unseen world. Marinate on that one.
No, there's no.
They have sold their lives to the point, and souls to the point, where they are conduits for this game to play out, where they are magicians and they're playing tricks and doing things to people in real life on the third dimension.
Okay, so how do you explain to people that expose their tricks?
I've never seen anyone truly expose some of these tricks. How do you expose David Blaine levitating? How do you expose some of these people being like frozen in a block of ice on top of a building and these weird things that they do? And have you ever seen a guy that changes his face like 1,000 times in like a minute and a half or something? It's crazy. You can't take a mask off that quick. Have you ever seen that?
Reptilian people.
Those are you're more thinking about shapeshifters, but these people literally have demons that have powers that we obviously don't know and understand on a common person level, that they're getting over on us on and making millions of dollars and making idols out of these people. And basically it's just demonic fun. They're just having fun. They're just fucking with people. They're just... Look it up, man. I'm gonna send you this video. It's called Demons and Magic or something like that. It's on YouTube. It's like 2.5. It's probably deleted after this interview, but dude, that movie is wild, dude. That is a wild documentary, dude. It will show you stuff. Just like you said, his people or whatever run from that street magic shit. Everyone runs from some of that street magic shit. It's not just his people. There's this one where one of the guys does. Okay, so I forget who did it. I want to say it was Chris Angel. Okay, he got someone to get inside this trash can that was literally on the side of the street. They were in a street where there were two tall buildings with a connector, with I forget what they call that, a bridge to connect the two buildings, and it was opened up. It was like an outdoor walkway that you could connect. He had one of those guys, one of those regular people off the street, get in that trash can. He did his magic thing, and then all of a sudden he was up there on top of that building, on that pillar, on that crosswalk. And you know what that guy was yelling? Diablo, Diablo, Diablo. That's devil in Spanish for those that don't know.
Don't get frustrated at the hole you want to go down.
I'm not frustrated. I'm just.
Don't. You look bewildered.
Well, the thing David needs to do is watch some of these documentaries that I've watched, so he can see some of the stuff that I've seen and just make his own mind up. It'll fill your whole day.
David is a science guy.
No, I'm not.
He's Bill Nye.
Everything has to make sense for him.
He is Bill Nye all the way. The science guy. We grew up on that. We're like in our 30s, so.
What's confusing here, sir?
It's not that it's confusing. It's just it's like I don't even know how. Like, I know I can combat some of this stuff, but my brain's just like starting to go, yeah, and then I'm just like.
What would you compare it with?
Well, okay.
What do you dispute? Or what do you question?
The whole magic thing is utter nonsense.
But how can you explain some of that stuff?
We had a mutual friend, right? Wayne, Daddy, right?
Okay, yeah. We don't need to expose anybody, but go ahead. I know who you're talking about.
All right. Have you seen him do magic?
No, is he can do the whole pick a card thing or what?
Dude, he can do some of that Chris Angel stuff. I've seen it in real life. He's like phenomenal.
He can levitate?
Yeah, he shows you how to do it.
Well, maybe he does, man. Maybe I'm wrong, dude. I don't know everything, but I'm telling you, watch this documentary and decipher for yourself. I can't explain it. I don't not in the rule. I am not in the school of magic.
I'll give you an example.
Harry Potter's not my idol.
I'll give you an example. He's in the house here, in this actual house, and he does the whole thing, right? And he's like, take a card. And you can't see him, so you pick it out, right? You look at it, he goes, all right, put it back in the deck, put it back in the deck. He goes, follow me. We go outside, and he throws it up in the air. Okay? That card that you picked is stuck in the tree. Wayne can do that.
Wow. Well, I would have to see it, man.
And he also explains how he does it.
What did he say?
I'm not going to reveal, but no, what he does is in sleight of hand, he can make you pick whatever you want.
So, but that doesn't matter. How the hell did he flick it to get in the middle of the tree?
It was already planted. He already put it there before he came in the house. Because he knows what card you're going to pick. He makes you do it.
Because he pokes one out a little bit.
It's all in how he does it. He does it super fast, but the way he like spreads his hand and he kind of pushes it out at the same time, like you have no choice in that. Like you subconsciously pick one you want.
I can see how that would kind of work, but that's so far fetched. I don't know, man.
I watched him do it, so
maybe, dude. Hell,
it's not maybe. I saw him do it, and so then he explains how to do the. He does a lot of it. He can even show you how to do like pull the razor blades out of your skin and stuff.
Wow.
So everything you just said, complete utter nonsense.
So you say. You should still watch the documentary.
But if you're into that, then now you have to go backwards in everything we talked about.
So nothing I said was real.
I'm saying there's a lot of. Oh no!
Look, I'm not an expert on anything.
Oh,
we made this disclaimer in the beginning.
Oh, that's you.
I'm not an expert on anything. I'm just the messenger. I'm just telling you what I've seen and what I've heard. That's it. I don't even remember everything, you know. I mean, I forget a lot of the stuff.
Oh.
I can tell y'all some people y'all can look at though. Some YouTube channels and some different people to look into if you want to know some of the stuff. I'll say this, David Icke. Whoever knows who David Icke is, that guy is on it, man. He knows too much. I don't know who's been telling him stuff. He knows too much, but he's also said some stuff that I don't completely just believe right away. So, I mean, he's one of the first people I heard about the reptilian agenda and these different reptilians and stuff. You know, I don't know about all that, but apparently there was a major reptilian influence on this planet thousands of years ago. The Vatican even has a room where, like, the room where all the weird wooden sculpture that is behind the stage, where, like, when you go to the very back of the room and you look at everything and it looks like scales.
Where's this at?
The Vatican.
Oh, I've seen that.
And then you look to the side and you see the two circles that look like serpent eyes.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And then they have the fangs and stuff.
Yeah, I've seen that. They also have
That's reptilian, bro.
They also have the one where they have the black vines, and then Jesus is in the middle. He has a serpent head.
That's the same thing. It's not Jesus, but it's something.
He's on a cross and he has a serpent head.
I don't think. Look it up right now and zoom in on the photo.
It's on my phone.
It's not Jesus.
It is Jesus.
They may tell you it's Jesus. That's not Jesus. That's some demon, dude. You don't put Jesus on anything. You take his face off and put a snake head on.
It's in the Vatican. You go look it up. It's on.
Is it white Jesus?
He's a wood. He's a piece of
it's
wood. He's
like
wooden.
It's like a statue, so it's not like colored.
I'll look it up. Vatican. I'm looking it up right now, and I'm gonna get as close to the screen as I can. You probably won't be able to see it. It's too bright.
Y'all are
David,
hilarious.
man. They said pain was coming. They said the pain was coming. Q said the pain was coming.
Fucking Q.
I control too.
What?
No, I can make light of some of this stuff because I know the good always wins. Well, not always, but ultimately, yeah. That's why you have the Dark Ages, right?
I don't know.
Well, the good wasn't winning in the Dark Ages.
Clearly, I don't know anything. Clearly.
That's why people live to be 40 years old and you're an old man.
Oh my God, this is just. This
David.
has gone far left, like way off the rails. Like, I knew you were into some shit.
You gotta get into like a better
I don't mean
phrase.
no.
Far left. I don't
Okay,
like
whatever
far
you done
left.
went.
I know what you're saying. That went left.
You went.
And I know that saying.
You went way south. How about that? Or
I
something.
went out there. But isn't that what the whole goal is?
What? Go south?
To blow people's minds.
That's why you had Alan come.
And like I said, hey man, I don't know anything. I don't know a single thing.
You wanted to put on the foil hats.
Yeah.
Put on your foil hat. Come on.
I really
Hey,
should have.
come down this hole with us. Put on your foil hat, right? What was the other thing you want to talk about?
Oh, well, I don't remember.
Relationships.
Oh, right. Well, because okay, yeah. So I'm gonna start off with, what are your thoughts on Candace Owens?
A legend.
Oh no. Here we go. I'll just
Dude,
sit back.
I got a lot of respect for Candace Owens, man. What, is she fake or something? What you got to say about it? What do you know that I don't know over here, Mr. Yancey?
Hey,
what do you like?
The
What do
Nazis are looking at
I
you.
think she's attractive, first off.
The Nazis are looking at you.
What do you think about what do you think about Candace Owens that makes her a legend?
Is it what?
You said she's a legend. How? In what way?
I mean, I just think she's a good representative of the black community, man. Is that bad?
In what? Okay.
I don't.
So here's the thing.
She's conservative.
Why do you think she represents the black community?
I don't know. She does represent personally the black community as a whole. She's a black woman.
What that mean? A lot of black people don't like black people.
I have nothing against that.
Okay, here's the thing.
I have nothing. I want to hear what you have to say.
She admitted.
Educate me.
So she admitted that
Educate me.
Charlie Kirk educated her on the black community. She admitted that.
Who?
Charlie Kirk
Okay.
educated her on the black community.
Okay.
So, if a white man can educate you on your community, how are you a part of that community?
I have no idea. I don't know what to say to that.
You see what I'm saying? And
So a white man educated her about the truth, supposedly the truth of the black community.
correct.
Hmm.
So,
Sounds contradicting.
and this is her words.
Okay. I'm following you. I'm
All right,
following you.
this is her words. All right, and she said she had to go into a great list of study about what Charlie had put her on, or what's happening. Right? Okay. So here's the thing: when you're a part of the black community in the black community, anybody outside of the black community can't tell you about the black community. You can't educate me on my community or where I live.
I understand that.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And here my issue with Candace Owens.
Especially the culture.
The culture, correct. So, my thing with Candace Owens, it's not that things that she say is invalid, it's that she has no balance. Period.
She's a sellout, basically.
No, I don't use that word. Here's the thing. When you have no balance, then you start to look stupid to me.
Okay.
All right, and everything that you do then becomes very worthy of criticism. Because it's like, okay, I'll get you have your gripes or what you think the black community needs to fix. But after a while, after you keep beating that dead horse, after you keep saying the same talking points over and over, it starts to come off away.
Use the George Floyd thing as an example. It's easier to wrap your brain around. How she put a negative connotation on it.
She puts negative, everything black, she puts a negative spin on.
Right. It's the same way that like Terry Crews does.
So it's like for her, I can't have any Candace Owens supporter. Please give me a tweet, a video of any time that she's ever spoken positive about black people. All her criticism, she shuns all of us. She just talks bad about black people all the time. Period. And she praises white people. Now she addresses white people individually. She'll talk crap about them individually, but never as a whole. She addresses us as a whole. Something's wrong with black culture. Black this, black that, da da da. She does that. So to me, that's not a legend at all. And that goes into the whole relationships that she's in. that's the part of the stuff that black people don't like, because it comes off a way. It's a white person had to teach you about black people.
Well, okay,
Period.
so technically, just to play devil's advocate here, I learned about the Tulsa Massacre, right?
Mm-hmm.
Recently because of a damn. See, now I'm gonna start feeding into you. Like, yeah, I told you. Watching Watchmen, I realized this shit was real. Okay, feel like an idiot. But let's say I come across a black dude that doesn't know that, and I tell him that. Isn't that typically a white dude teaching a black dude about his own culture or history?
Say that again.
Man, you understood what the hell I said. Okay.
I was in my head with something else.
Uh huh. Don't do that. Okay. I come across a black dude that doesn't know about Tulsa Massacre.
Uh-huh.
I explain it to him. Is that not a white person telling a black person how, like, about black history and truth and their culture?
What did you tell him?
No, I'm just saying. But if I
Yeah,
did,
that is.
I'll fuck it all up. I tell him out on everything. I'm not saying I would do a good job. I'm just saying if I was doing a good job and I did that, is that not telling him about black culture and black history?
A portion of black history, yes.
Right. So who's to say that Charlie Kirk didn't tell her the right things? But again, playing devil's advocate.
I'm not saying he didn't tell her the right things or anything. Here's the thing. Like I said, with her, there's no balance with her.
Balance meaning like.
Balance. If you go judge one, judge all, with that same harshness.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't talk about one group of people always 100% negative. Because here's the thing. Me personally, as a black man, I don't fit any of the bullshit that she says. And I'm from Chicago.
Right.
And I've buried over 30
I mean,
people.
basically, she just spits out all the Fox News talking points, basically.
Correct.
She does sound like she's biased to a point where she's paid for.
Yeah.
You know.
That's all I'm saying. That's when I get into the whole. This is how a lot of black people act once they engage into interracial relationships. That's her and
maybe she was set up to try to get the black vote, or maybe in one way or another.
Maybe I don't know.
Who knows?
But her and Brandon Tatum are perfect examples of that. It's like once you cross that over to that, you start acting real weird as hell, and you start sounding away, and that's the reason they get called names.
Now, does that apply to everyday people or just people in the spotlight?
No, I think that's everyday. For me, like I told you, for me that's everyday people. From Chicago, Minnesota to Texas.
So how do you take this crazy motherfucker?
I've only met three black people that's been involved in interracial relationships that actually they didn't lose themselves.
Okay, so how does that work with him and all of that?
Well, I don't know. I don't know his lady.
I know, but I'm saying, if you had to guess?
I don't know. I wouldn't guess. That's stuff like that you have to read.
What's going on right now?
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but how are you trying to tie it to me and my relationship?
Well, because we were kind of talking code, not code, but like we were talking based off other podcasts. So, how would you put it? Whenever there's an interracial relationship, the black person never talks about, or they rarely talk about their black parent, right?
Yeah, but here's the thing: they stopped caring about black issues. All right, I'm not saying all, but a lot of them. That's like I said, for me in my lifespan, I've only met three. They stop caring about black issues, period, or whatever, and they get this whole defensive thing when it comes to anything white, i.e., Candace Owens, Brandon Tatum. They always protecting white culture or the white whatever. You're attacking white culture. You're hating white people. Stop hating white people. But you never hear them say stop hating black people or stop lying on black people. You never hear them say them things like that. So it's like, why that happens normally in interrelational relationships for black people, because it's like at this point a lot of us want to attach ourselves to some type of culture, some type of anything, because a lot of us don't know where we actually come from.
Which is why that's why I tested my blood to find out if I was white.
Right.
So do you think you see that happening with her?
That she's losing herself?
Yeah, in the way that he's describing?
No, not at all. No, not really. She still brings that stuff all the time, you know, that the black community is dealing with and going through and stuff, and I'm just listening.
So another example of a person that's in the spotlight that doesn't do that is Bill Burr's wife. But if you're not familiar with that, you're not familiar with it. But
right. No, first of all, like I'm saying, I ain't saying all.
No, I know. I'm just thinking out loud.
Yeah. And that's all. It's like that's the part where it gets very weird because the people out front be acting weird like that. They don't have any balance.
I mean, yeah, you went through. I don't remember what podcast it was, but you went through a list of names, and it seemed like that was pretty accurate for all the names that you listed off.
Yeah.
Outside of the Hodge twins, but I don't watch them.
They get very very weird,
Right.
and it's like, why get that weird?
Like they did a video recently on Black Anthem, so it was weird. So as soon as we got done, I went home and that video was like suggested to me, and I watched it, and they kind of, if I remember right, they mimicked what you said about it. So that is odd. They're kind of like that though. Like sometimes they're in line with her, with Candace Owens, sometimes they're not.
Right.
But they seem that they're more in line with what you say, generally speaking.
Yeah.
And they're funny. So yeah, I don't know.
Like I said, Candace is cool. She makes valid points in a lot of cases, but she has no balance.
Right.
It's like I told you before. You can't.
It's the way she delivers the message.
You can't 100% tell a group of people that another group of people are a piece of shit and they're stupid. And that's what she does. There's nobody that can tell me and show me any evidence of her speaking positive about black people.
Well, maybe someone will come up with something, but until then.
So that's it, and that's the issue for me, because the world she's shaping affects my kids. So now you got a group of conservative white folks, or conservatives period, looking at my children like Candace Owens describes black people. And that pisses me off.
Because that goes back to the both sides use black people as a pawn. They move around the chessboard.
Correct.
I like to think that most people that are smart and have a heart and love don't, they can see through that kind of stuff and don't see color. I'm one of them.
There's that thing again where you don't see color.
I mean, love has no color, man. And I just wish more people realize that.
My love has a color. But like I told him, it's because I have to combat a whole bunch of other things with that. Very ugly, stupid. I ain't gonna say stupid. Ugly, accurate stereotypes. In a lot of senses, that black men don't honor black women. We don't make families. We don't have values. Like the things that Candace Owens repeats. To, see what I'm saying? And so I have to.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're some of your dispute with her.
And so I have to combat those stereotypes as a man, as a father, as a husband, because it's like, what she's saying valid? Yes, I'll be stupid to say it's not valid. But what that puts me in a position is I have to combat these things.
We have to come up with a remedy for it.
Correct. And so
sometimes the remedy's really hard to come up with.
Right. And so for me, when I say my love has a color, I married a black woman. I have black children. You know what I mean? And all of it's not based on my feelings. It's based on combating those ideals that people have about of putting black men and black women against one another and breaking up that nuclear family and that cohesiveness. And so yes, so when I say for me, like, my love has a color, it has an agenda, it's very intentional. That's what I mean.
Well, there's been an agenda against the black community for a long time. They fear you guys.
And I asked probably the other day, I said, why?
Because y'all are trendsetters and y'all create movements that are real. And when you have the masses as a collective on a movement, they can't be beat. And when you have millions of people on the same level, on the same page, that's what they're scared of. That's why they want to divide us. It's got more to do with influence.
Gotcha.
In culture and fashion and hip hop and these types of things like this, and setting trends and creating movements and different just trends.
But that's why I asked. That's part of the reason I asked you about the whole Black Lives Matter thing. That you don't think it's a certain segment that just actually believed in the actual Black Lives Matter, not the organization, but they're out there because they want, because of the trends, because of that movement, because
there probably are.
Yeah.
Yeah, there gotta be.
Yeah.
There's gotta be. But I think more or less most educated people and just people that don't people that value their lives and their property and their well-being and their families. Because if you go out and get killed because you had a Black Lives Matter by a police officer or some shit, now you've disrespected your family, neglected your family. Now you're gone.
Correct.
I think most people that have their head on their shoulders are at home with their families and doing the right thing and taking care of the things they can control of. Not out in the streets looting, rioting, trying to cause trouble, and standing up for something. But I just, there's a difference between how Martin Luther King did it and how they're doing it right now. It's two way different monsters.
But we see what happened to him.
The CIA got rid of him.
So it's like we don't. So
here's you know why? Because he was creating a real movement that was wholesome and going against everything that they were trying to combat. They were trying to do the opposites of what he was creating, and he was such an influencer that they had to get rid of him. They had no choice.
So I was telling somebody earlier, a couple days ago, of why, because Martin Luther King gets brought up a lot.
Yeah.
Malcolm
absolutely.
doesn't. But I tell people why.
The
why the
conspiracy about that,
why
right?
the entity why they wanted to keep those two men separate.
You don't know the conspiracy about that?
Where you gonna go with it? About what part?
Malcolm X had Martin Luther King killed. He was Malcolm X was a CIA asset, and then we all know what the CIA does.
No, I haven't heard that one.
Look into that one.
Because I know why they wanted to keep. Well, I heard the one why they wanted to keep them two men separate. And at the end, that's when they start, especially after Malcolm came back off this pilgrimage. And at the end, they started to actually collaborate. And that's why.
And then they got rid of them.
Both of them.
What do you do to the patsy? What happened to Lee Harvey Oswald? Killed him.
Gotcha.
What do you do to the person that was the culprit, the one that's going to be the one that gives all the information to where all the dead bodies are found? You get rid of him.
Gotcha. He
was a patsy. They used him. He did a job he was taken well care of. When his time was up, they got rid of him.
You might have to look further into that. I ain't heard that
Look into that. Look into Malcolm X and his ties to the CIA and Martin Luther King and what really happened to Martin Luther King, just like what really happened to JFK. Lee Harvey Oswald did not kill JFK. There was 8 people there, maybe more than that were there loaded up, ready to go. And the first 5, 6, 7, or 8 shots that they shot off didn't kill Kennedy. When Kennedy came down the street there, they saw that he was still alive. And I think the guy with the umbrella raised the umbrella up, signaling that he was still alive, so the guy in the drain that was right there pulled the .357 Magnum or whatever it was out and blew his brains out. That's where the kill shot came from. And they had another guy that was set up on the bridge when they're coming on the grass. They're getting ready to go on that bridge. That was sitting to the right there, that was in the bushes at the top of where that bridge, when this bridge ends and the road starts to connect again. He was behind some bushes, and he was their last chance. So JFK literally made it through 4 snipers and 4 or 5 snipers, and was down to like the last 2 chances until they finally killed him. Look into that, man. That one's deep. I watched a documentary on that. It had the guy's name, first and last names, where they came from. Some were Cuban refugees. Some were mafia hitmen that they hired that were supposed to be expert marksmen. It's deep. And George Bush Sr. was the one that had control and had his hands in coordinated all of that.
Interesting.
They love to get rid of the person that was the guilty party, because if you can get rid of that person, they never talk to anybody, nothing ever comes out, and all of a sudden it's just like, well, he gets what he deserves type of thing. And that's how you sell it off to the public. But a lot of those things will come out later in documents. Pandora's box is getting ready to open it up, guys. They're peeking in it right now, but
Like literally, or you mean figuratively?
I'm speaking figuratively, but the whole sweater, they're pulling on the yarn on the sweater, right? The whole sweater's about to unravel. I mean, this thing has got to get ugly here pretty quick.
you, you're talking about sex trafficking. There's cabals and hands or whatever, and
The
then
hidden hand.
and then you talked about spaceships and on Antarctica. There's aliens. There's reptiles. There's fat people. There's monsters. There's like all these things. What part of it is about to come to a head? All of it, or it's parts of it?
Well, it's all tied together because it's history of this planet. And
Mm.
so it is all tied together to an extent. To understand one thing, you have to understand another, and to understand that, you have to understand why it was created, and so forth. Um, you know, the further back you can go with history, the more you can put it together to understand more about what's happening today. And just to understand that this is a fight between good and evil, it's a spiritual battle that's happening in the physical. The, the things that are happening right now is nothing new. It's good versus evil. It's been around forever. It's a duality. You can't have one without the other because by definition, that you can't have the definition of light is like without darkness, and the definition of darkness is like without light. You know what I'm saying? So they complement each other, but it's a duality. It's how you change. It's how you grow. It's how you have the opposites. It's how you have balance. Right now, we're really out of balance. We've been in the dark for a long time, and we're balancing it back right now. We're getting ready to go into the age of Aquarius. Did you ever hear about that?
No.
It's technically supposed to start in like 100 and 150 years or something, but they're preparing for it all right now. There's a transition phase, and we're getting ready to go into it. Our whole solar system is moving into an area of the cosmos where there's extremely high frequencies that we've never been in before. And it's going to change everything in our Milky Way. It's going to change every physical being. It's going to change our DNA, and there's going to be a solar flash that emits energies that come from the sun that come from the central sun that are going to upgrade our DNA, that are going to take our level to the next consciousness from 4D to 5D, and it's just gonna change this place completely. There will be no evil after that.
I've never heard a single scientist talk about how our solar
We're not
system.
going to talk about that.
No. Okay. But like you said, so our solar system is moving through space.
In space, space is more. They say it was more like water than it is just emptiness. There are certain rotations and certain
Like currents.
currents, if you will, just pathways that planets and different. God, it's getting late. Can't even talk anymore. What's the word I'm looking for? Universes and different things. They move around in a symphony and a harmony, and different things happen over time, and things change. And right now, our civilization is traveling through the cosmos into an area that is emanating us a frequency of energy from the central sun, which is a amazingly way bigger sun of the center of our cosmos, basically. And when we go into this, which is going to happen in the next 10 years,
I think you said it was 100 years, 150 years.
I said the age of Aquarius was technically supposed to start. I don't know if that has to do with that part or if that has to do with the solar flash. I'm confused on that. That's a good question. If that's what that means. But that's what's happening. That's what some of the high-level insiders have said. That's one of the things that they're trying to not talk about, and they're trying to keep that from us. That's why a lot of these people have deep underground military bases because they didn't think they were going to be there to see the energies and be able to handle the energies that were going to come in. So they were going to kind of ride it out for however long it took under these underground military bases. And some of them aren't even military bases. They're like cities. They're like just giant cities where they were going to house several elite families and slaves, basically.
It is astonishing to me how many people are talking about how you have all the knowledge.
I didn't think it was rocket science. I just hear this stuff and I'm just like, it makes sense to me, man. These people hate us. They want to control and run the whole world. They're prostituting us out. They don't give a damn about you and me.
Well,
I guess you got some research to do. We'll podcast number 2 here in a couple of weeks or something.
this is number 3, sir.
Well, with me.
Oh. I don't know if I want to.
I'll do this because we gotta end here and I gotta get out of here. We gotta shut this thing down so that we can do another one and think clearly.
Tomorrow we are supposed to be interviewing ODG. They're a tactical guns training company, and I don't know if we're having some issues with. I don't know if we'll have the spot tomorrow night.
Okay.
So be thinking of Plan B if that happens. I'll be thinking of some other alternatives because he's already confirmed to hook up with us. So I don't want to cancel on him if they're not going out of town. And then it could be another 2 weeks before we get that to work. So be thinking of Plan B. But tomorrow, hopefully, it won't be this late. It'll be much earlier. God damn, what the fuck did we? We should be going live tomorrow with the dude that he's an ex Marine sniper, recon sniper, and now he owns a tactical training company. So Yancy and I he hasn't trained with me yet. I have once, but we're supposed to be all getting together, do some tactical training, and then we're going to interview him about police brutality and whatnot. That would be dope. So y'all look forward to that. I'll be sure to send out alerts and let everybody know before we go live. Alan, thanks for coming by.
Yeah, no problem, big dog.
Thanks for being late.
We were supposed to start at 8:30, but we still came through for you guys.
Like 2 hours later. Anyway, all right. Appreciate y'all. See you next time.